I'm Christine Lisi. A Texas court scheduled Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby's trial against the NCAA for February 8, 2027, 2 weeks after the College Football Playoff National Championship will be played in Las Vegas. Yesterday, a judge granted Sorsby a temporary injunction that might clear him to play in 2026, even after the NCAA declared him ineligible for betting on college sports. The Big 12 Executive Board will meet with Commissioner Brett Yormark Thursday to go over their options. Paul Feinbaum, show host. Paul Feinbaum.
I don't think they can do much, but at least show some principle. And that's really what has been missing here. All we've seen are a bunch of outraged commissioners and coaches and athletic directors. That's not solving the problem. And it's too late to solve this in court. So in the court that against the NCAA.
Hurricanes down 2-1 at the Golden Knights. Game 4 Stanley Cup Final tonight, 8 Eastern ESPN. No word yet whether Brandon Bussey or Freddie Anderson will start in goal for Carolina. Wild Sign center Mike McCarron, 6-year, $20 million deal. He had a productive arrival after a midseason trade from Nashville.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Wednesday as the Spurs look to even the finals, I'll tell you what I need to see from Wemby in Game 4 if they want to get the job done. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, powered by Sunshine. Your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Matt.
You're a loser, man!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Shea Dixon in 15 minutes on an absolutely crazy week to talk Cruton. We'll head up to Omaha in about an hour and 15 minutes, get some preview and perspective on the College World Series. The field is, of course, now set. Chase Young was on a podcast, talked about his upcoming season with the Saints. And, of course, we will get to a lot of reaction around college football, around the Brendan Sorsby situation. But let's begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
College World Series is set. LSU, as we know, is not there. And we all hope that the advantage for the Tigers not being in the College World Series, if there maybe is such a thing, is the fact that Jay Johnson now doesn't have to go coach all the way through the end of June, and they can just focus on recruiting this transfer portal and getting the roster back to what it needs to be to get LSU back to Omaha. Well, what happened Monday night was not super awesome. If you missed the news, Brody Trosclair, the lefty from Northwestern State, yes, the one in Natchitoches, Louisiana, he's going to Tennessee. This is, look, in a different era. In a different era, Brody Trosclair is pitching at LSU next year 100 times out of 100. This is a kid from Thibodaux who went to Northwestern State. He's a lefty who becomes the Southland's freshman of the year in the conference. Had a 1.89 ERA across 38 innings. And instead of LSU, he's going to Tennessee because he went to the highest bidder. And when he visited LSU last week, we talked about it on this show, and I was told in no uncertain terms, LSU is not getting a hometown discount. He is going to the highest bidder, and that was Tennessee. By the way, I was told Florida was second. LSU was third. The built-in advantage that LSU baseball has had for basically the last 3 decades is no more in this era. Brody Trosclair, Baseball America ranks him as the 4th best player in the portal. Not 4th best pitcher, 4th best player in the portal. On3 ranks him 15th. Okay? He's a lefty. Mentioned he was the Southland's freshman of the year. He had an elbow injury, so he's coming off of that. He did not have Tommy John. He had the sleeve procedure. They expect he'll be back in February, March, be ready to roll. But it's a double whammy because not only is he not going to LSU, he's staying in the SEC, so you might have to face him. We don't know what LSU's schedule next year is going to be, but if Tennessee's on it, you're going to have to face a kid from Thibodeau who you wanted on your team who instead is going to be pitching for Tennessee. And again, LSU is third. Tennessee, Florida, then LSU. And this is the new reality for LSU baseball. And a lot of blue bloods historically in college football are dealing with this in this era as well. The built-in advantage that you've had for years doesn't exist anymore because programs like Indiana or SMU who are willing to spend, Texas Tech, are competitive now. And the same is true in college baseball. You can buy your way to relevance. You know, LSU's 8 national championships, the box, the ability to develop the Marucci complex right there behind the right field fence, dreams of playing in the College World Series, Jell-O shot championships, Warren Morris's home run. None of that mattered to Brody Trosclair. He went to the highest bidder. By the way, that's not a knock on him. Good, go get you. Go get a kid. I'm mad at you at all. And that's the truth for a lot of players. And as long as that's the reality, you're going to miss on prospects you want. None of those things I just mentioned will trump money for many players in this era. And LSU just keeps getting outbid. Now, look, last year in the portal cycle, we've continuously heard this whole narrative like LSU was behind the 8 ball because they were playing through Omaha at the end of June and they got behind on the portal and that's why they missed on some of these evaluations. I want to remind you that LSU wanted Valinkis. He ended up at Mississippi State. LSU wanted Volchko. He ended up at Georgia. They got outbid. It's not like you can't recognize what an elite arm looks like because you're playing in Omaha. They got outbid for those guys. They wanted Ace Reese. Mississippi State gave him $750,000 in a condo on a golf course. Guess what? He stayed in Starkville. Smart kid. And there's going to be more bad news because they want Bino Waters, a kid out of Notre Dame who everybody has the best player in the portal. He's an outfielder. I was told last night he's going to Texas. So, I don't know if that's released yet. It'll be released at some point. It's the reality. Verge Osbury sat here. We talk in the chair right there where Kane is sitting. Paul, can you go wide so we can see Kane? Where Kane of Raising Cane's, the stuffed one, is sitting right there. Verge sat in that chair, a little bit closer to me, however, and said you got to decide what you're going to be good at. You cannot afford to be great in everything. There are only so many financial resources. And this is, as we've talked about, the complex issue that is not unique, but is a rare issue at a place like LSU, where, of course, you're going to be good in football because you have to be. And men's basketball is your other revenue generator, so you're going to invest. But you've got Kim Mulkey in coaching your women's basketball program. And you've got Jay Johnson coaching a baseball program that expects to be in Omaha and compete for championships every single year. And the question is, are there enough financial resources to be able to do that? To be great in all of those things when you have to go buy your roster? And you're seeing the answer with players like Brody Trosclair, a kid from Thibodeau who just spent a season at Northwestern State and now is going to play at Tennessee because they were the highest bidder. So, listen, all is not lost. The Tigers have 2 commitments in the portal already, and they're 2 elite-level players. I just mentioned the On3 rankings. On3 ranks Landon Hood, the righty from Gonzaga, as the number 3 overall prospect in the portal. He's coming to LSU. Again, all is not lost. And you have a really talented roster, guys that maybe didn't perform up to expectation, but that are coming back for you hope you retain, and they're coming back for the 2027 season. I'm not telling you all is lost. But this is part of the new reality. guys like Brody Trosclair, who in a different era, 100 times out of 100, are coming to LSU. Now we're going to play at Tennessee because they wrote a bigger check. So we'll see what resources Jay Johnson and the staff have available to them, what other targets there may be in the portal that they go after as they fill out the 2027 roster. And, of course, there's a giant question about retention. Can you get Stephen Milam to return for a senior year? Depends where he goes in the draft, naturally. Can you retain all this great freshman class who seems like they're staying put, right? What about the incoming freshmen? How damaged are you by the draft? How many elite-level players show up on campus? We'll start to know all that as we move through the summer, and, of course, when that August 1st deadline hits for guys to make their decisions if they're going to sign their NFL or MLB draft contracts, or if they're going to play college ball, we'll know come August 1 what that looks like. But this is one that stings because Brody Trosclair is one you wanted. He's going to Tennessee. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. Our show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. The official beer, your Fighting Tigers of LSU. If you're at the box out at Tiger Park, Tiger Stadium, the PMAC. If you're watching the Tigers play, make sure you have plenty of delicious ice-cold Bud Light. While we're not going to see the Tigers play again until they run out on the field against Clemson on September the 5th, the summer's here. And so maybe it's hanging out by the pool. Maybe it's when you're bringing that ice chest out to the beach and the golf this summer. Make sure you drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU, and the official beer of the New Orleans Saints. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. We'll knock out a quick break, y'all. Shea Dixon's going to join us from On 3, the Bengal Tiger. We talk recruiting with Shea every Tuesday here on the show. And, man, with 4 commits in a 24-hour period, 7 official visitors this past weekend, Ahmad Hudson taking a visit to Nebraska that has people freaking out. There is so much to chop up with Shea. We're going to do it next on AFR.
AFR.
Summer is here. We are spending time in our outdoor spaces. And if you want to enjoy your outdoor space and beautify that area, let Clegg's Nursery help. And also, if you want to keep the pests away, Clegg's can help there as well. You need anthill killer. You need to get some wasp spray, snake away, or you want to get rid of mosquitoes. Clegg's can help you. I tell you all the time about the Aeon mosquito barrier. Easy, comes in a box, 2 tubes about the size of a track baton, little granules in it. Fill it up with water to the fill line, put the cap on, shake it up, hang it on your property line. You're done with mosquitoes for 90 days at a time. It costs you about $30. They got it at Clegg's Nursery. It's the Aeon mosquito barrier. Go ask for it by name when you get by any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. Seagair Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
I've been in banking for over 35 years. I usually start about 7:30 in the morning, and I usually leave somewhere around 5, or if customers need me to meet them at their house or their business places, I don't mind going after hours. I have done churches, subdivisions, retail centers, hospitals, and nursing homes. And that's why we chose to live in this community, because of the values First American Bank has, that I can serve my community and my customers.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off-season. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our Lay of the Lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the Lake. Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinecenterla.com.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
Ever wonder why cane sauce doesn't come in a pre-sealed packet? It's because it's made.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Rolling along Tuesday AFR, powered by Sunshine. Always appreciate our friends at your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana, sunequip.com. Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger, part of the Rivals Network over there on the recruiting side, joins us on Tuesdays. My goodness, we have a lot of ground to cover. Shady, how are you, man? Yo, Shea. Cool. See if we can get him on the phone, whatever we got to do. See if we can connect there. I want to talk to Shea about the 4 commits that LSU got in a 24-hour period. Obviously, when Shea and I spoke last week at this time, Jaden Bryant had just reaffirmed his commitment to LSU only hours later to flip to Miami. And then a few days after that, obviously, KJ Green now committed to LSU. And after this period of 4 commitments, LSU actually has another prediction in for a 4-star running back commit. So we're going to get to all that with Shea. We good to go? Okay. So is the phone no good? Or
Yeah, he couldn't hear me on the phone. I'm having him call us.
Okay. All right. So we're going to get Shea. No good on the computer?
Doesn't look like he couldn't hear us there either.
Okay. All right. Yay, technology. So we normally do a video call, but just take the audio with Shea. That's when you hear him more clearly when we do that. But if that doesn't behave for whatever reason, we get Shea on the phone. So we'll wait for Shea to call us here. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us. So the other thing, of course, I'll ask Shea about is Ahmad Hudson. The highest ranked prospect in LSU's class, the tight end out of Ruston, who took an official visit to Nebraska this weekend. A lot of people are melting over that. So we'll get Shea's take if there's anything really to be concerned about there with Ahmad Hudson. All right, it's after further review. Brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing. Give me a quick second to knock this out, and we'll get to Shea. Okay, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Very quickly, I want to remind you, the Louisiana Department of Insurance has their portal open right now as they are opened up a new round of grants. 3,000 Louisiana homeowners are going to be awarded a grant up to $10,000 to install a fortified roof at your home. If you want more information, go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Look at the homepage. There's a blue bar right there at the top. It says, click here to apply for the LDI Fortified Roofing Grant. You get all the info you want right there. So go to parishbuilt.com, hit the link at the top. It'll take you directly to the LDI website if you want to learn more. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com. Okay, now we have Shea. Shady, how are you, man?
I'm doing well, Matt. How are you?
I'm awesome. Okay, we got a ton to do, so let's blow and go here. When you and I were speaking last week, on Wednesday, Jaden Bryant was still in LSU's class. Hours later, he flips to Miami, and within 4 days, LSU's got KJ Green. I look at that and go, Bryant saw the writing on the wall that this was inevitable. Make this make sense how this all came together.
Relative to just Bryant, and we won't even get into the next one, that was one of the wilder days I've seen. I mean, he canceled, this is all in one day, and all coming from Jaden Bryant, right? Like, not reports, not sources. him on social media, cancels his Texas A&M official visit, replaces it with South Carolina, the home state team, and he had moved that up in place of the Texas A&M one. It was going to be a week later, and then LSU the following week. Then everybody, maybe was in his mentions, hey, you're coming off a Miami visit. Now South Carolina, what's up with LSU? And he tweets out something to the effect of, it's always LSU, go Tigers. 3 hours later, Hayes Fawcett puts out the tweet that he's flipped to Miami, which means this had been in the works all day.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? So for Sterling Lucas, look, remember, this is LSU's edge rushers coach, Dean's coach. He was at South Carolina. This is obviously Jaden Bryant is a South Carolina kid. He committed sight unseen. It was like a couple days after Sterling Lucas got hired, and it wasn't like he flipped from South Carolina. He was uncommitted at the time, but was close with him. So committed back in January, eventually made some visits, but that Miami visit obviously was enough to get him flipped, despite an incredibly odd day on social media for us. I think, and maybe in the world of 17-year-olds, that's probably pretty garden variety stuff.
Right. Okay, so then with that flip, how did it come to pass that KJ Green ends up in the class?
Yeah, so after the world got done melting when LSU fans lost a 5-star edge rusher, Sterling Lucas, that was Wednesday. Thursday night, KJ Green, another top 10 edge rusher, gets into town on Friday. So that's 24 hours later. Friday morning starts his OV official visit. He's got his parents with him, all that. And buzz had been brewing going into it that, hey, look, LSU's got a real shot. Then the Bryant stuff happened, and it was like, you will be the guy in the class right now, edge rusher. And confidence rose, and by Sunday, it was over. I mean, before he left campus, he committed. So, and I'm looking at the Rivals rankings, and they are far from being complete. But Jaden Bryant, number 4 overall, edge rusher, number 29 player. KJ Green, number 8 overall, number 48 player. So both top 50 prospects, both top 10 edge rushers, and really you replace one with another. And a bit different players, both about 6'3" range, but Bryant's about 260. KJ Green is probably in that 215 range right now. So a guy who is already on track. I mean, he's got over 200 career tackles at Stone Mountain or at Stevenson over in Stone Mountain. So big senior year for him, definitely a pass rush guy, and kudos to Sterling Lucas. I mean, that was a quick turnaround to add if you want to go off rankings, a very similarly ranked player right after another one flips.
Shea, I know we talked last week also about Abraham Cisse, the 5-star out of Pennsylvania, who took an official 2 weekends ago. Is LSU still in the mix there, or is KJ Green going to be it as far as elite edge rushers in this class?
You put out a lead, and we'll just stick with the highly ranked guys because there are other edge rushers. But right now, from talking to just a number of different people, this weekend will be big. He visits Notre Dame. He's from Pennsylvania. They've always been kind of the team that everyone thought would be the program everyone had to beat out. They have a lot of fanfare around them right now, right? Like, aren't they like one of the best odds to win the national championship? So, like, Marcus Freeman has that program rolling. They recruit well, and they have been prioritizing Cisse for a while. Duke and Florida State are his other finalists beyond LSU. I'm not predicting him to go to either of those schools. So let's see what happens this weekend. I talked to Steve Wolfong, Rivals national expert, about it, and he said Notre Dame's led the whole way, but LSU really surged. Let's see what happens this weekend. If he leaves South Bend without committing, then all of a sudden LSU's got a shot here to maybe convince him, hey, before a decision date, to go with the Tigers. But if he commits while on campus, it's probably over with.
Okay. All right, Shea, let's talk a little bit about the running backs. So Brennan Lacey out of Texas commits, but then we also have seen these other dominoes fall, right? Jaden Miles from Baton Rouge ends up committing to Florida State. And there's another running back, Trey Segura, who looks like he might be trending toward LSU. So let's maybe take those one at a time and make sense of this running back recruitment right now.
Yeah, and we'll eventually get to another Trey who visits this weekend. That's a Louisiana kid. But, yeah, you pop Brennan Lacey. There's a few surprises, right? A couple this weekend. This was one of them. TCU had just hosted him on official visit. He's a Frisco kid. They thought it was done deal. Hey, I'm just going to go make a couple visits. And then, boom, Sunday, he doesn't even leave campus before committing. So kudos to Kevin Smith here. He's one of those guys entering the summer. I think he's ranked as a 3-star, number 79 running back in the country, but his offers include LSU, Notre Dame, Miami, Texas Tech, Florida. As I mentioned, TCU thought they had him in the bag. Notre Dame, I could go on and on. So obviously his offer list a bit more impressive than his current ranking. I would guess that changes over time, but he's one where, as we talk about all these guys, 6'1", 187, and his playing style is a bit different than someone like Trey Segura, who also visited who also visited this past weekend, or a guy like we'll talk about in a second, Trey Martin, who's still in Louisiana, is a 4-star uncommitted prospect coming out of Winsboro. And it speaks to something we've both talked about a lot. Lane Kiffin in this offense very much recruit position-wise, even more so skill positions, to exact kind of role of each guy. Like, if you're X, Y, Z, slot, whatever it might be, running back-wise, it's, you'd love a 3-down back, but they're really getting these guys who all do a little bit of different things. So Lacey's on board, and, again, that was a surprise. TCU thought they had that one done, and here comes LSU out of nowhere.
So Lacey's on board, and you mentioned, so it's Segura is how you say it?
It is Segura, yes.
Okay, I'm not familiar, so fill us in there.
So a guy we haven't been talking a ton about over, as we talked about running backs, but playing over at Duncan in South Carolina, at Burns in South Carolina, which is in Duncan. He's the number 7 running back in the country on the Rivals industry rankings, as high as number 5 at 24/7. So this is a very highly regarded back. He's 5'10". He's already north of 210 as a junior in high school. And Kevin Smith, LSU's running backs coach, had been on him, but they didn't know if it was going to ultimately yield to a commitment. And he canceled a Penn State visit this past weekend, and his dad told us instead, hey, look, I'm coming. We're going to come down there and visit LSU. And look, Burns is a great school. Marcus Lattimore went to Burns back in the day. I mean, he probably holds every record they ever have, unless Segura's starting to break them. But like a top 10 running back that we weren't even talking very much about. But Kevin Smith had sort of worked quietly here looking for out-of-state backs, and they get him on campus. And this morning, Chad Simmons puts in a prediction for LSU, and Steve Wilpong, Sam Spiegelman, guys everybody knows from the covering Rivals and recruiting, and had all dug around. I dug around, and we all came back together and said, we're all hearing LSU for a kid who's kept things quiet. Like, he's from South Carolina. He's got every offer, but he never had a Rivals RPM pick before. There wasn't a real feel for where he was leaning, and then, boom, done. Committed to LSU. Here's your fun fact, too. I went to watch his huddle film, but his most recent uploads were just like 20 soccer clips. So we've got a multi-sport athlete, but this kid's out here scoring goals. So hat tip to the World Cup coming up. A guy like this trending to LSU. And look, Matt, I won't be surprised if he shuts things down and maybe doesn't make any more visits. And all of a sudden you're at 2 running backs when just a couple of days ago you had none.
Okay, and Shea Dixon's with us on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Shea, by the way, if I need to knock on a break, can you do a second segment? We just got a lot to cover.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So let's finish the running backs, though, first. So I want to get into Jaden Miles and Trey Martin, the Louisiana kids. I'll just leave it open. Go.
Yeah, Jaden Miles and Trey Martin both had offers from LSU's previous staff, and both were recruited by the Ole Miss staff. It's now at LSU. But we just started seeing Trey Martin around campus a lot more, and Jaden Miles was making visits elsewhere. So he pops for Florida State. I think that probably, in a small way, plays a role in them feeling comfortable with going ahead and getting some other out-of-state backs. But everyone asks, well, if you do land 2 running backs from out-of-state, what does it mean for Trey Martin? He's a top 10 running back, but he's here in Louisiana. He visits this weekend, and Matt, everything I've been told, an official visit to LSU, everything I've been told is that they had these discussions with him already. They laid out what his kind of role in the team would be. whether you want to say NIL, all of that, every discussion's been had and will be had again this weekend on his official visit. But it's a matter of, and look, it's so tough to predict year over year what our room will look like, but they anticipate that they want 3 more guys to be in the running back room next year. Do you take 1 high school kid and 2 portal kids? Do you take 2 high school and 1 portal kid? Do you take 3 high school kids? Right now, it seems like they're trending towards wanting to at least take 3 high school prospects that they feel kind of each bring something different to the table at a position where you can play early.
Shea, wasn't Trey Martin thought to be a heavy Alabama lean? Isn't he thought to be a heavy Alabama lean?
It was early on, and I think their board also played out, kind of like LSU, right? Like they got Nigel Newkirk, who's one of the best running backs in the country. They're soon to pop another unless he just committed this week. So they had already run up on 2 running backs, and I think they sort of had to bow out of that race because at that point, for them, I think the target goal was 2 running backs, and they had 2 guys that were ready to say, I'm going to go ahead and commit now, and Trey Martin kind of wasn't in that headspace yet.
Okay, quick break. We're brought to you by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We'll come back. Got a bunch more to talk about what Shea will do next on AFR.
AFR.
Gents, if you want to feel your best, our friends over at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness can help. Remember, lowest prices, never any contracts. I really want to stress that. There's a lot of clinics that offer HRT. You hear a lot of them advertised here. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that do really well. What I will tell you about Goodwood is they offer the lowest prices and never any contracts. So if you are paying a membership fee at your HRT clinic, major red flag, leave immediately. If every 6 months when you do your blood labs, you're paying for those blood labs, remember at Goodwood, they pick up the cost of your blood labs. They do not pass that on to you. And the cost of your therapy is going to be the lowest prices that you get anywhere. So lowest prices, never any contracts, no membership fees. They pick up your labs. Like if you're on HRT and you're not at Goodwood, what are you doing? Get over there. Schedule a consultation. It's yourgoodwood.com. Check them out, yourgoodwood.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Parrish, we're built for tough players and tough roofs.
Coach is tough on us about preparation, and Parrish brings that same championship mindset.
Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing.
ParrishBuilt.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU Sports.
Proform Steel. Proformla.com. Proformla.com. Listen, if you need a metal building, it doesn't matter if it's an industrial building or a shed for your backyard. You want the best, you want Proform Steel. You know Brandon Golson. You know the name if you're in that industry. He's been around forever, and he's the best. This is the new endeavor. Proformla.com is the website. Super easy, and one of the best features is you can go to the website right now, hit the Request a Quote tab right there on the homepage, and just like that, boom, you can get upfront pricing on the homepage right now at proformla.com. Doesn't matter if you need an industrial building, if you're building a shed in your backyard. If you buy a building from them, they will deliver it for free. And their lead times, by the way, on residential is like 6 to 8 weeks. Yeah. Why would you do business with anyone else? Proformla.com. Proformla.com.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, we got Shea Dixon with us on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Good enough to hang around, do a second segment. Okay, Shea, the collective LSU internet world melted this weekend with Ahmad Hudson at Nebraska. Fill us in. Anything to worry about there?
I mean, we just saw what happened with Jaden Bryant, which was kind of a crazy day. So I'm not ruling anything out ever right now. I will say, Matt, that this is an in-state kid. He's a legacy whose father played basketball, under John Brady. And he's committed to LSU. He committed for a reason early, before visits, because he felt comfortable with everything. And in the words of Ed Orgeron, right, he's back now. The champion of a recruitment, right, is the person who's beyond the prospect, the chief decision maker. And that's Mama in this one. And she's been on board with LSU. LSU's offered his younger brother, who is, coming up through ninth grade at Ruston. So they've been all in on Ahmad forever. Nebraska had to, though, and I'll sum it all up with this. Look, Hudson is committed to LSU in football, but will also be able to be given a chance to play basketball, right, with Will Wade. He is currently the number one prospect in the state in both football and basketball. So number one tight end in the country, but number one player in basketball in the state of Louisiana, 5 stars. So makes sense that he would give it a shot. Nebraska's going all in on it. I mean, we're talking pitches about your start type stuff. And I think that because of that, Ahmad has taken him, kept Nebraska around a lot longer than many anticipated. And then he made the visit, and I think in large part, Matt, they said, hey, look, we've put in years here recruiting you. We're having a big recruiting weekend. We know you're committed. We respect the decision, but just come give it a shot. And him and his mom went over there and visited and went through it all. And for me, the most telling thing was he left and he didn't commit. He said all the right things, very kind about Nebraska. He likes Nebraska because of the opportunity to play both. But at the same time, he's back home in Ruston. The dust settles on it. And not this weekend, but the following weekend, which is the final weekend of visits, Matt, until it's a recruiting dead period, Ahmad Hudson's on campus for his official visit in what will be the biggest official visit weekend of the month. So I like where LSU stands. I'm sure the staff didn't love that he goes and takes a Nebraska visit, given that was the only other team left standing when he committed. But that's recruiting right now, and they've just got to double down and stay on top of it. And Ahmad has said that LSU's done just that.
All right, Jay, there's 2 other prospects that LSU got committed on Monday. Marquez Davis, corner you and I have talked about. And then one I don't think that we had talked about, and one we didn't expect, that's Cade Cooper, who was on the show a day ago here, who kind of walked us through his whole recruitment, which was a wild last month for him, no doubt. But
yes,
thoughts here on Davis and Cooper?
God. Well, we'd have to go another segment on Davis. I'm his big, outside of Corey Raymond, I'm his biggest fan. And I'm his biggest fan because I love these Corey Raymond recruits. This was a kid who I think God built his profile for him whenever Corey started going out and looking at him. After you dig in, I'm like, what offers does he have? He's got more basketball offers than he even does football offers. He's already 1,000-plus point scorer, and he's playing at Northwest. Where's Northwest? It's in Opelousas. I don't even know if Northwest has put out a player. And here comes Marquez Davis. Profile gets built. I tell them go in and rank him. Gets ranked at receiver because that's where most of his huddle highlights are. And no, Corey wants him at cornerback. So not basketball, not receiver, wants him to play corner. And we're talking about a kid who is, you could say raw, but he already plays both ways. So he has cornerback under his belt. Like, remember Ray Darius Jones was someone they wanted to convert to corner, and he was uber athletic, but he was playing quarterback in high school over in Mississippi and on winning state titles. But they were just putting their best athlete at quarterback. They've let Marquez play receiver and corner. But 6'3", 180, 1,000-plus point scorer in basketball, on the best AAU team, arguably, in the state, and is committed to Corey Raymond to play football with other offer. I think he had just come off a Houston trip, was going to go out to Texas Tech, and I wasn't on the phone when Corey Raymond and Marquez had a conversation this week, but Marquez led me to believe that the phone conversation went something like, do you want to be the first corner in? Let's get it done. And a couple hours later, he's publicly committed. So it was always going to be LSU. It was just a matter of when it happened, and now he's in the class. They have themselves a corner.
And Cade Cooper.
Cade Cooper, like I said, he was on your show yesterday. We have him as a top 25 receiver in the country. So coming out of Pennsylvania, and we're getting used to this, right? Like LSU's first commit came from Florida at receiver when the state had a bunch of receivers. Now they take the Pennsylvania kid, but this is a guy who, good size. I mean, he is legit 6'2" already, 190, and really has been a guy who a lot of teams were on Matt, but it came down to Ole Miss was really the team to beat. And he had said after the fact, look, LSU didn't even come in until May, offered him. George McDonald goes and sees him on the road in mid-May, and now they get him in on the visit with his family, and everyone says, we're on board. We're popping. And his quote, I'm using your show, but his quote to us was, this is Chad Simmons, I'll give him credit here. Coming into the visit, I was honestly slated to go to Ole Miss. That's who I was committing to. My father encouraged me to take the LSU visit because I only get one chance, and he was right. I said he loved Baton Rouge, the people, the food, everything. It was just a great vibe, getting campus, taking it in. It made a big impression on me. LSU is what I thought it would be, but actually better. And after visiting both places, I knew that it was the place for me. And look, he said, again, here's another quote. I think it was a little more security at LSU if I can actually work and play for the offense that did it instead of the offense that's trying to imitate it. The overall stability there is what made the difference. That was Cooper talking to Chad Simmons at Rivals about how LSU passed up Ole Miss. So pretty much straightforwardly saying I was going to go to Ole Miss because of the offense, and now that I'm thinking about it, that offense is in Baton Rouge.
I'm certain there's some folks in northern Mississippi who are not going to love that quote, but it's honestly my biggest question mark about the Ole Miss program without Lane Kiffin. But, okay, Shea, last thing, two other prospects I know that we're kind of on flip watch here, an offensive lineman and a defensive back. We're talking about Kelsey Adams, the offensive lineman, and then Greedy James, the defensive back, committed to Georgia and Texas, respectively. What are we expecting to happen here?
Yeah, I can be quick with these. Kelsey Adams still committed to Georgia right now, but the expectation is that probably doesn't last till signing day. He's going to go to Mississippi State this weekend. He had talked about another trip the following weekend. A lot of SEC schools are on him, so I think by the end of the month we'll know something there, but a lot of people feel that at this exact moment, LSU is the team to beat, and they don't have no lineman committed, so that's notable, right? Not at least today they don't. The other one's Greedy James, a Texas kid playing at Manville. He's committed to the Longhorns as a safety. Corey wants him at corner. He came in with his family and his uncle, and his dad and his uncle are not just from New Orleans. They're St. Aug grads. So he told us, like, look, being around them, getting a feel for LSU, it kind of changed my perspective on things. So as we watch Corey Raymond build out this corner board, with more visitors to come, keep Greedy James on the list. I think that just those New Orleans ties coupled with being prioritized by LSU and Texas is notable. And again, Texas wants him at safety, LSU at corner. Let's see if that isn't a deciding factor.
Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. Of course, Rivals on the recruiting side. He's at Shea Dixon. Good enough to hang with us here on Tuesdays. Man, we always appreciate it. Thank you.
Time flew right by. Later on, Matt.
See you, man. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit, firstsouthfarmcredit.com, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. You know, this is the time of year where they really get busy with folks who are thinking of buying their own hunting property, right? You're coming off of hunting season. You're you're determined not to share a lease ever again with anybody. You don't want to hunt on someone else's property. You want to pass on the big buck because you don't want to take down the big buck on someone else's property. You want your own. Well, this is the time to get that process started. So you can start at the website, firstsouthfarmcredit.com, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. Remember, if you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit, firstsouthfarmcredit.com, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. Your hunting property, your recreational property, maybe you want the 20 acres, the 50 acres in St. Francisville, the 100 acres on the North Shore to go build your family's dream home. First South Farm Credit can make it happen. firstsouthfarmcredit.com, firstsouthfarmcredit.com. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Hour number 1 flying by, courtesy of Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We bumped around the SEC there, so we'll catch you up on that when we come back here to wrap up hour number 1. And all of the reaction to the Brendan Sorsby situation, we'll dive into that coming up in 15 minutes to start hour number 2. We got a ton to do on a jam-packed show. Stay with us. It's AFR.
After further review.
Had a message from a listener, said, wife and I are having an anniversary. We're going to go to Trinidad and Tobago, and then we're going to spend a little time in Baton Rouge. After that, need a place to stay and eat. Well, they said they're going to go eat at Supper Club, but where should we stay? I said, well, go stay at Renaissance. Renaissance is literally a mile, maybe, from Supper Club. Renaissance is so convenient, right? So if maybe you're planning a little staycation, or you're coming in town, starting to think ahead for your football weekends in Baton Rouge, book your room at Renaissance right there on Bluebonnet, or, of course, Watermark downtown. Both are amazing spots, but get those reservations now for your football weekends or for a staycation this summer. Remember, Renaissance Baton Rouge, sprawling, gorgeous hotel, tons of amenities, spacious guest rooms. They got the pool and the workout facility, Tallulah, the great dining experience right there in the lobby, the terrace with the indoor-outdoor flow if you want a cocktail or a glass of wine. Check it out right there on Bluebonnet. It's Renaissance Baton Rouge.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 5-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
My name is Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone or stop by the branch and get excellent customer service.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
We had to come out with the right approach and the right energy. There were some things in the second quarter that we weren't sharp enough on, and halftime's a time to really catch your breath and discuss some things that you need to improve upon or what you're seeing out there that hopefully can help each other in the second half, and that's what we did. I thought we came out in the third quarter with the right approach. We got some stops and had some good execution.
Spurs head coach Mitch Johnson. The Knicks led by 7 at the break. Spurs outscored the Knicks 35-27 in the third quarter, and they'd hold on for a 115-111 win. So now the series is 2-1 in favor of the Knicks. Game 4 will be Wednesday night at Madison Square Garden. They waited 27 years for an NBA Finals game there at MSG. What a scene it was with Celebrity Row. Of course, the president was there on Monday night as well, but the Knicks came up short. So series at 2-1, and see if the Knicks bounce back or if the Spurs can even the series. Mike Brown, after the game, was asked how the team will respond after their first loss. Remember, they had not lost yet in the play. They were 13-0 in these playoffs until losing Game 3.
I told our guys it's a 7-game series for a reason. They're a great team. They're well coached. They got an iconic player. It's not going to be easy, and we have to keep trying to take one game, one possession at a time. But there are some things that we can control that I didn't think that we controlled tonight. And then like I said.
That's enough. I don't need any more of it. I can't get what in the world happened to Mike Brown, like in the middle of that answer. What in the world? Like what in the world was? I mean, he talked about their iconic player. Wemby had 32, 8, and 6. Great night for Wemby. It caused Mike Brown to do this.
They got an iconic player.
What was that? What was he trying? I don't even know what he was trying to say. Was he trying to say who? They got an iconic player.
Hold on.
Was he trying to say who?
Let me see if I can figure it out what his next word was. Maybe he just really tripped over it?
Oh, man. We'll play it.
They got an iconic player, It's not going to be easy.
No, never mind. He went to it. Nope. Mm-mm.
I think he was going to say they have an iconic player. I think he was trying to say who, and he just completely familyed it right there. Oh.
They got an iconic player,
Maybe a ghost scared him. The hell was that?
Big Scooby-Doo vibes right there, actually. That's great.
Yoinks! Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Maybe he looked up and saw the reflection of a ghost in a window from Relief Windows. How about that? Take it. Transition. # radio guy. ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, shutters, and shades. Oh, yeah! It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. And remember, they will never, ever, 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 ever take $1 from you. I'm so glad we played that Mike Brown cut. They will never take $1 from you until they're done and you're thrilled. They will never take a down payment. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the South Carolina Gamecocks.
South Carolina is hiring Coastal Carolina coach Kevin Schnall as the next head coach.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
We already told you this, but Brody Trosclair from Northwestern State, he's committed to Tennessee. That sucks.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
4-star wide receiver Jabari Watkins, 6'2", 180. He picked the Hogs. He's the highest commit in the Hogs class.
The Auburn Tigers.
Auburn got 4-star defensive back Chance Gilbert. He's the number 8 cornerback in America, the number 55 overall prospect in the country. He's the 16th commit in Auburn's class.
the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
And Jeff Lebby landed a cornerback in Jalind Hello, not to be confused with hello, but kind of like that, just with a K, so as to say Kello. He's a top 100 cornerback prospect. That's a really polite way of saying he's not a very highly ranked cornerback prospect. There you have it. That is Around the SEC. Tuesday show is powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. SunnyQuip.com, SunnyQuip.com. Bunky and below, you want a Deere, you're going to Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. And if you don't go to Sunshine, I'm going to send Mike Brown to your house to scare you. What was
that? After further review.
Oh, man. I got to tell you about Arco, but I just want to play the Mike Brown clip. Every time I say Arco, play the Mike Brown clip. Arco. You know, if you need an industrial Generac generator, call Arco Power Systems. Go to arco.com. 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 They're going to be so mad at me for this. Maybe they'll think it's hilarious. Hey, listen. Arco's awesome. North to Little Rock, east to Mobile, west to San Antonio, all over Louisiana, Houston, Dallas, Austin. They got offices everywhere. If you're a business, power goes out, what do? Arco can help. ARCCO.com. ARCCO.com. Arco.com.
Box combo for George. I see you, Luis. Food's on the way.
Please don't. Hey, you know you can use your hands, right?
Got those box combos for you. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Another roof gone too soon. Looks like neglect. There's no doubt about it. This is a case of poor installation. At Pelican Roofing, we don't guess. We investigate to find the real cause of your roof's problems. Call Pelican Roofing for your free roof investigation today. Case closed.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
At Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer, we know you deserve value when you purchase equipment. Right now, take advantage of the powerful 3025E tractor for just $297 a month with 0% financing for 72 months. Tractor packages with a trailer also available. Whether you're tackling land, property, or projects, get your job done. Don't wait. This offer ends June 30th, 2026. Some restrictions apply. Visit sunequip.com or stop by a Sunshine location today.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be
is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby's trial against the NCAA is set for February 8th, 2027, 2 weeks after the College Football Playoff National Championship will be played. Yesterday, a judge granted Sorsby a temporary injunction that might clear him to play for the Red Raiders this fall, even after the NCAA declared him ineligible for wagering on college sports. Unsportsmanlike co-host Chris Canty.
If he's allowed to play, this is going to be his last year of high-level football. There's no NFL team that's going to touch this. Not this. I don't give a damn how good he is, because this is a can of worms that you just don't want to open up. I'm shocked that we have this ruling. I can't imagine that this helps Brandon Sorsby in terms of what his ambitions might be in high-level football beyond college.
The Big 12 Executive Board will discuss its options in a meeting with Commissioner Brett Yormark on Thursday. No word yet from the Hurricanes whether Brandon Bussey or Freddie Anderson will start in goal for Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final tonight versus Vegas, 8 Eastern on ABC. Carolina's down 2-1. Longtime Browns left guard Joe Bitonio retiring after 12 NFL seasons at the age of 34.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Wednesday as the Spurs look to even the finals, I'll tell you what I need to see from Wemby in Game 4 if they want to get the job done. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You sure? And Mr. Toby Tomplick. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. A day ago, the college football world was collectively stunned, outraged, fill in whatever adjective you'd like here, by the decision a Texas judge made ruling or granting Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby an injunction to make him eligible in 2026. There have been a couple of developments in that case today. One is that the Big 12 leadership met as a conference, after which Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark, that's notable, of course, because Texas Tech plays in the Big 12. Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark released a very brief statement, which read, "We had a thoughtful and productive conversation with our athletic directors today as we continue to work through the broader implications of this situation. Many of our athletics directors voiced their opinions. We will continue to have open and honest dialogue amongst the group, and until there is something to report, these conversations will remain within the conference." That's it. As I mentioned a day ago, what you would typically hear from an athletic director is, "We are so grateful that a judge has ruled Brendan Sorsby eligible. We will continue to support him as he works through his addiction and are glad he will be representing Texas Tech in the Big 12 Conference." Like, if you were fired up about this, that's what the statement would have been. This ain't that. Now, the other thing, development, is that a Texas court today has set a court date for the hearing of the appeal. February the 7th of 2027. That'll be about 2 weeks after the football season ends. Basically meaning it's pointless. I want to remind you that a day ago on this show, I asked Gabe Feldman, Tulane sports law professor, noted legal mind when it comes to these types of things. He's at Sports Law Guy on Twitter if you want to give him a follow. I asked Feldman yesterday, well, could the NCAA appeal this decision? Here's what he said.
The challenge for the NCAA is whether they can get an appeal heard and determined in time for it to matter. Because if Sorsby gets to play all the way through to, let's say, the college football playoffs or the national championship, however far they make it, and then the NCAA wins, they haven't won anything. And so it's possible that just by delay, the NCAA could lose.
It's almost like he's super well versed in this sort of thing and how a judge and a court may handle this, because it's exactly what happened. Well, the college football world continues reacting. ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips told ESPN, this is a, quote, horrendous pattern, quote, eroding the integrity of our process. It's amazing also to me how many coaches, athletic directors, presidents are going on the record voicing their displeasure. These aren't anonymous quotes. Sonny Dykes, TCU coach, was, quote, disgusted. No, I'm sorry, this was a Big 12 athletic director, quote, disgusted, we officially lost our soul. Sonny Dykes, quote, how is anyone ever going to trust the outcome of a game again? Georgia Athletics has sent out a memo forbidding any of its programs from scheduling or playing Texas Tech in any sport. Big Ten officials are apparently considering the same thing because Nebraska AD Troy Dannon told ESPN his school's teams are not allowed to play or schedule Texas Tech. Florida Athletic Director Scott Strickland told ESPN he was, quote, stunned, comparing this to the Black Sox scandal of 1919. Quote, as someone who grew up reading about the Black Sox scandal, seeing what happened to Pete Rose and just understanding how bright the line seemed to be in all of American sports, I'm stunned there would be a question at the court level that this is acceptable. There's more. TCU Athletic Director Mike Buddy, Kansas State AD Gene Taylor told ESPN they've had informal chatter about the league schools, Big 12 schools, not playing Texas Tech. Whew, wouldn't that be something? I mean, we can go on, and I commend all of these coaches and athletic directors and administrators who are going on the record and speaking out. Kansas State Athletic Director Gene Taylor told Ross Dellinger at Yahoo they've had conversations about not playing Texas Tech. Quote, this is greater than the Big 12. We can go on and on and on. Taylor's the one who told Ross Dellinger a day ago, quote, it's effing BS. He said, quote, I know the kid has a problem. Well, get well and focus on your problem. It's absolutely devastating for him to be able to play when every other sport, no matter the level, deems an athlete ineligible or they're punished severely for betting on their team. Here we are. You know, one of the other things I thought fascinating, Tom Mars, remember, who is an attorney who has notably gone to war against the NCAA in court over the years. He's the one who represented Houston Nutt in his case against Ole Miss 2 decades ago. He's the one who helped Trinidad Chambliss get eligible. Tom Mars said initially when he saw the ruling, he thought it was a joke that Sorsby was eligible. But he also said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that the Big 12 effectively is the only one who could stop this from progressing right now. And that's something that when we had Ross Dellinger on the show a day ago, Ross noted as well.
Big 12 could more so rule Texas Tech as a program would be ineligible in a variety of ways. Like, for instance, Matt, I guess a good example. The league presidents could, if they usually conference bylaws have sort of a line in there, and I think the Big 12 does, where a league's board of presidents and chancellors can penalize members for, quote, conduct detrimental to the conference. And that could mean anything. It could mean, hey, Texas Tech, you can't play in the conference championship game. Or, hey, Texas Tech, you have to forfeit a couple of Big 12 conference games or something. They could do a lot of variety of things.
That is, to me, the path that this has to follow. So keeping in mind, right, the NCAA ruled Sorsby ineligible. He went to court to grant an injunction against the NCAA. Well, this would not be an NCAA rule. This would be the Big 12 membership saying, no, you're not eligible. So, listen, we all understand how blurred the lines have been in college athletics over the last half decade since NIL came into place. What is pay for play? What is true NIL, rev share portal, the whole thing. There is a very, very clear, as one of those athletic directors put it, Scott Strickland, a bright line. Like, there is no ambiguity. You bet on sports, you're ineligible. Period. It is black and white. That's the line you can't cross. And everyone acknowledges it, even the Big 12 membership. It's ridiculous that Sorsby was even allowed to go to court. The thing that I'll continue to say is you could take it 3 steps back, and if the university leadership, presidents, chancellors, would from the beginning of this have said, no, you're ineligible. Period. Then this isn't an issue. Now they have to retroactively, after a court has granted the injunction and the collective sports-loving world melted and everyone is throwing all this venom and vitriol and hate at Texas Tech, now they're going to have to collectively find a way to backtrack. Look, there's no saving face here. It's just admit you messed up, do the right thing. Do not allow Sorsby to play football for Texas Tech or anyone ever again. See if they do the right thing. We'll continue to follow it. But, man, I'll repeat again today something I said a day ago if you missed it. The most fascinating part of this for me is if the Big 12, Texas Tech, Sorsby can wait out the news cycle. Because yesterday was the day that brought all the reaction. Today, a little advancement with the Big 12 having their meeting, other leadership speaking out. But ultimately, we're going to move on. The Knicks are in the finals. We'll crown an NBA champion. There'll be a Stanley Cup champion. There's the College World Series. NFL is going to start hitting mini camps, and there's going to be something. The news cycle will continue to spin, and we'll move our attention away from this. And if they can hold out long enough, we'll all forget about it and go on until Texas Tech is getting ready to start the season. We'll go, I guess they're letting Sorsby play. The outrage will die down, and we'll move on. Can the pressure build enough in a short amount of time on Texas Tech, the Big 12, Sorsby, et cetera, to have them act to do the right thing? That's the one question that I think remains. Time will tell, so we'll continue to follow it. All right, it's after further review. We are brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. It's Tuesday. Y'all, every Tuesday is $5 sushi over at Rouse's. So get on by any of the Rouse's locations. There's 76 of them. Think like our country, 1776. Celebrating America 250. There's 76 Rouse's locations. From Lake Charles to Orange Beach and points in between. You can find the location nearest you, although quite honestly, if you just keep your eyes open, you pass a Rouse's Market near you. You get to Rouse's.com and see the great weekly specials that they have, the hot bar menu. They got also great cooking tips and health tips on their social media pages. If you want to go check out Facebook and Instagram, you see it there. It's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com, Rouse's. This feels like home. Okay, let's knock out a quick break, y'all. We'll come back, head up to Omaha. Rob Anderson will join us when we come back, sort of an historian of the College World Series, and we'll take a peek at this year's field of 8 vying for the national championship. We'll do that as we continue. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Remember, if you have not yet had your Home Central AC check, clean, tuned up, it's past due. Hey, man, I did it last year. Great. If you haven't done it this year, it's past due. This is something you should do every single year. The seasonal maintenance is essential to making sure your HVAC unit performs efficiently and extends the life of your unit. What you don't ever want to have happen is let a little bitty issue compound and become a very big, very expensive issue because it went unchecked. That's why you got to get your standard seasonal maintenance done. So I tell you about River City's 1 hour air, the preseason AC tune-up. You can mention the Moscona special. They'll knock $30 off the price. My better recommendation is join their membership club. And if you're on the part of the maintenance club, you get member pricing, front of the line service, and your seasonal maintenance is complimentary. It comes as part of the club. River City's 1 hour air, 752-0001.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
I'm Billy Schmidt, and I've been with First American Bank for 13 years. I have a passion of getting to know customers, getting to know their journeys, getting to know their stories, and being a small part of that, and just continuing.
We're brought to you by River Parish Contractors, where, well, keep reminding y'all, they are hiring over at River Parish Contractors, and they're looking for you. If you're a welder, pipe fitter, pipe tacker, crane operators, Boilermakers, they're looking for you over at River Parish Contractors. Even if you currently have a job and you're not looking, maybe you should be, because at River Parish Contractors, it pays to go work with our friends at River Parish Contractors. Remember, they have as much overtime as you want, and they've got work secured for the foreseeable future, so it's not like one of those things where you're going to work two weeks on the job. As soon as it's done, you're out of work. No. They've got tons of work ahead. They were just awarded 4 contracts recently, so they got tons of work. They've got as much overtime as you want, day shifts, night shifts. They've got full benefits package, paid time off, and you will be home with your family every night. It's River Parish Contractors. Call Big Jake at River Parish Contractors.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
College World Series gets underway this weekend. Unfortunately, the Tigers will not be there. But as I understand, it's a rumor out there that the College World Series still happens, even if LSU's not there. A guy who would know it well is Rob Anderson. He's a great assistant AD, but also knows a ton about the College World Series for all intents and purposes. Rob, I guess we can call you like the communications director, the SID for the College World Series. Is that fair?
Yeah, my day job is SID for Creighton University, but Creighton is one of 2 co-hosts of the College World Series, the Men's College World Series each year. So I've had the fortunate luck of being at just about every game for the last 25 years, and I spend a great deal of time down at the stadium, not only during the College World Series, but during the Creighton baseball season when they play their regular season home games there.
Well, you've gotten to see a lot of LSU games in that stadium and obviously in Rosenblatt as well. How bummed is everybody there that the Tigers aren't making the trip?
You know, the strange thing about LSU fans is that they tend to come whether or not the team is here or not. There's already a couple campers and whatnot at our soccer stadium next door where they just set up shop for 2 weeks. And I think people are a little bummed because they're always one of the crowd favorites, and their people are so great to deal with and just so kind to everybody from Omaha. So I think they I think we miss that, but it's also exciting to get some new blood every now and then too.
Sure. Hey, yesterday was the 30th anniversary of the Warren Morris home run. So you said you've been there for 25 years. Were you there
Correct.
at Rosenblatt in '96?
I was not. No, I got to Creighton. I attended the College World Series for a couple games in 2001 as a fan while working at a different institution, and then 2002 is the first one that I worked in my current capacity. So
Yeah.
I've certainly seen all the stories and highlights and can't get enough of that. And certainly it's a little strange watching the old Rosenblatt and the setup and all that, but it's, it's still something they talk about to this day of, the dramatics. And I've certainly seen the ESPN special about it and
Sure.
all that. So he still comes back. I feel like just about every time LSU makes it, I feel like he's here in the crowd or hanging around the press box and whatnot. So it's exciting to see.
Warren's a great guy. When you look at this year's field, though, you mentioned there is a lot of new blood. When a school like Troy or West Virginia makes it for the first time, or Alabama's in for the first time since 1999, what does that mean for the city and for the event?
I think generally the teams that haven't been here in a while, or even it's their first time, there's so much excitement on campus and from their hometown city that everybody wants to be there. And, you see the record crowds they had at West Virginia and at Troy and some of those places over the weekend. And it's like there's a whole lot of people that maybe they haven't been to Omaha before, but they've always wanted to go. And hey, our team finally made it. Let's make the trip. So it's just exciting to see the sport grow and grow and grow. And certainly it's great when LSU is here and other teams that are come on a regular basis, but it's the second straight year there's not a repeat team from the previous season, and that hadn't happened since 1957 up until the start of last year's World Series. So it's really wild just to see how much the sport grows, and certainly there's not any less attraction because Tennessee's not here this year, or Coastal Carolina's not here, but sometimes you get a team like Troy. Last year it was Murray State that they never in their wildest dreams thought they would have come to Omaha, but I know just from working my like I said, my full-time job at Creighton, our team has made it once in 1991, and those guys, they had a, reception this year and recognized them for the 35th anniversary. And we posted highlights on our social media accounts from hey, here was the 35 days ago or 35 years ago, we won, we beat Clemson in our opening round game. And again, we've got about 8 or 9 guys from that team in our Creighton Athletics Hall of Fame. And it's, those guys are just bonded for life together. And it's, Brian O'Connor, the Mississippi State coach, was on that team.
Yep.
And every time they come back we get that call, hey, you got any pictures or video and stuff like that. So it's so great to see.
Yeah, man, that 91 was memorable here. It's the year LSU, of course, won their first title under Skip Berman in 91. Creighton was part of that College World Series as you mentioned. And, if and following you on Twitter, by the way, is @_Rob Anderson, if you want to give him a follow. You got a lot of great stats, info about the field, some historical context on teams in it, and then also the importance of winning the first game. Is there something that you've stumbled across this week that you think is a really significant number as you've gotten ready for this year's event?
Gosh. The one that really has taken off is just one I kind of just said, how in the last 3 years, only one team has been here multiple times, and that's North Carolina, and they were, an out away from that not happening this year. So I just think it's to set up your pitching, you got to win that first game. And going 2-0, 33 of the last 35 champs, I think, have started 2-0. So if you lose, all of a sudden your pitching, you start to have to play back-to-back days, where if you win, you can play Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, and, if you lose Tuesday, you play Wednesday. You can use your number one guy again. So, if you start losing games where you got to keep playing and playing and playing every day, that's where your team's getting in a tough spot. But you see a lot of teams that they'll use their number 3 guy in long relief in day one because they know, hey, he's got 48 hours to rest or more. Or you see a team extend their closer 2 or 3 innings because there's a built-in day off. So that's exciting to see as a fan and somebody that works the event, because you get to see everybody's top arms. It's, I feel like watching the Women's Softball World Series, some of those key games were started by kids that had thrown 30 innings all year or whatever. And it's, you want to see the All-Americans going head-to-head.
You also noted that 40 of the last 44 champions won their first game in Omaha. So it speaks to the importance of getting that. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, you got to get off to a good start. And certainly you can't go 2-0 without going 1-0. And so much of it is just getting comfortable in the city and in the surroundings. And so frequently you get a team that hasn't been here in a long time, and there's a lot of nerves. It's a big stage, full house, and national TV, and it's something they've dreamed of playing in. And it takes them a few innings to kind of settle in. And for whatever reason, typically that team that plays in game one, those teams usually don't do so well as the week goes on for whatever reason. And, it's just what's cool about the event is every year you think, oh, this is what's going to happen. And then you see UCLA get knocked out. Then you see Georgia Tech get knocked out. And every year there's upsets and walk-offs. And, it's for a lot of these guys, it's as high of a level of baseball as they'll ever play. Now, certainly there's a whole bunch of major leaguers that we'll see, but, it's just cool to see these guys. They've been fighting for it for all year long. And like I said, I love the variety.
Rob Anderson's with us, representing the College World Series at _Rob Anderson. If you want to give him a follow, as you mentioned, his day job there is the Creighton SID. Hey, is there a best case scenario for the city of Omaha or for the College World Series, the event this weekend or this week?
I think best case is just that there's no rain, which is kind of in the forecast, unfortunately. But, certainly a team like some teams travel better than others. I think Ole Miss will. I mean, just based in the past few times when Ole Miss or Mississippi State come here, they bring a ton of fans, and that's impressive to see. So certainly but certainly the city would love to see those teams hang around. But, some of these SEC teams have enormous followings, and Alabama and Georgia haven't been here in a long time. So I think that they'll be well represented. Texas comes here every other year, it seems like, but they still are a huge brand name and are great for the sport. And then you get, like we said, the newcomers with West Virginia and Troy. I fully expect West Virginia to have a huge presence here. And I realized the other day somebody posted the population of all these cities, and the Troy population was like 17,000 something. Well, the ballpark holds 25,000. So I think everybody in Troy was at their ballpark last weekend.
Felt like
from the telecast. But it's just cool to see it. Something that takes over the whole city in Troy. Everybody's going to be watching, and that's one of the great things about Omaha is it's a great city, great facility, but the city embraces it, and there'll be a lot of people that look and cheer for the new guy or the underdog, and they just kind of adopt the team for the week and cheer them on, but mostly they just want to see good baseball. But but you'll see an elimination game on Tuesday at 1 p.m. between a team from one coast and a team from the other coast, and there'll be 23,000 people there. It's like, you couldn't get 23,000 for Oklahoma versus Texas, two rivals in Oklahoma City at night on a weekend. So to see that Omaha continually has that fan base that's there, that's locked in, no matter when the games are, is really cool, even if there's not a local connection for a lot of these teams.
Sure. LSU fans have obviously been going to this event, been spoiled over the last 40 years. But to watch the growth of the event and the growth of college baseball really has been awesome to see. And as you mentioned, what happened in Troy last week, not just in Troy, West Virginia, all over college baseball last week was pretty awesome. Rob Anderson, it's a bummer the Tigers won't be there, man, but we're pulling for great weather and a great event there in Omaha. Man, we appreciate a couple of minutes. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Anytime.
It's our pleasure. College World Series will begin on Friday. West Virginia against Troy, 1 o'clock Central Time will be game one of the College World Series, followed by North Carolina and Ole Miss. How about in the other half on Saturday, it's 4 SEC teams. It's Bama, Oklahoma, and Georgia, Texas. 5 SEC teams making the trip up to Omaha. I don't know, man. I don't really have. I don't pull for the conference. I say that all the time. It does not. I pull for what's best for LSU, and Ole Miss, Bama, Oklahoma, Georgia, Texas winning a national championship does not benefit LSU. I want Troy to win the national championship. Not because I'm pulling for the underdog. It's just because whatever happens in Troy athletics doesn't mean a lick to LSU. Fresno winning a championship in 2008 doesn't affect LSU at all. Georgia winning their first title since 1990, I don't want them to have another trophy. So I'm not pulling in any way for the SEC. But what I am really, 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 really pulling for is for Georgia to get knocked out immediately. because as we mentioned yesterday, if you haven't heard us talk about it or seen this yet, one of the sort of records that's thought to be immortal in college baseball is the 1997 LSU Tigers hit 188 home runs. That is a record that has stood since 1997 and has really not been threatened. Tennessee, I guess, a few years ago, thought they might make a run at it, but Georgia's at 174. They're 14 homers away from tying the LSU record, 15 from breaking it. I'll remind you, the record for the most number of home runs in one College World Series is 17 by the 1997 LSU Tigers. So, and now with the possibility of playing a 3-game championship series, there's the possibility of playing even more games than you did in the format back in 97. So if Georgia keeps playing through and ends up playing 7 games in Omaha, yeah, like they could break that record. So the thing I am pulling most for is Georgia to 2-Q, get out of there, keep that record intact, and then, hopefully one of the teams, North Carolina, West Virginia, Troy, one of them wins the national championship. See how it all goes. CWS starts on Friday. All right, after further review, we're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com, with locations all over South Louisiana. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. Remember, they will keep you coming back year after year after year because at Shawbills, they treat you like family. And it's not just lip service. Like if you go to the website, they have the customer service bill of rights. It's a list of things that they believe you as the customer, just for walking through the door, are entitled to. I mean, when do you ever hear that from any business in 2026? Well, that's why Shawbills has been thriving since 1968. Mr. Charlie opened up their doors in Morgan City in 1968 and said, this is what we're going to do. Sell the best tires at the cheapest price. We're going to treat people awesome. They're going to keep coming back. And you know what? It works. Been nearly 40 years now. Or is that nearly 60 years? Nearly 60 years. Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills. We keep you rolling. All right, y'all, it's after further review, halfway home here on a Tuesday edition of AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. In 30 minutes, at the top of hour 3, I was at Virgil, I was bearing the brain. There's future college football rankings that ESPN does every year. And it's never been more difficult than now to do that because of the portal and all that sort of stuff. But I have one real glaring takeaway from what ESPN's projecting, again, for the next 2 years. So we'll dive into that again in 30 minutes from right now. Let me knock out a quick break. Interesting commentary from an NFL analyst on the Saints offense and what they've built around Tyler Shuck this offseason. We'll get to that next. It's AFR.
AFR.
GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. They're complete employer solutions over at Glow Resources. They're the best. My buddy Jareth Knockan and the gang, they've built a massive business, part of the Baton Rouge Business Report, top 100 locally owned businesses in Baton Rouge every single year. And I'm so proud of them and the growth because they do incredible work. They treat people right, and they perform a service that's unmatched. At Glow Resources, they can help businesses find permanent solutions. So, and I tell you all the time, it doesn't matter if it's in Baton Rouge or New Orleans or anywhere in the country, wherever your business is. Like right now, they're looking for a Spanish-speaking contractor right now in Fort Pierce, Florida. So it doesn't matter if you're in Baton Rouge, you're in Florida or Texas, or if you're in New York or you're in Europe. Glow Resources can help you find those permanent solutions right now. If you need to find people permanent solutions for a job you're trying to fill, Glow Resources can help. GLO, glowresources.com.
At Parrish, we bring the same commitment to your home that champions bring to the game.
Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off-season, and we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
Box combo for George. I see you, Luis. Food's on the way.
Please don't. Hey, you know you can use your hands, right?
Got those box combos for you. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
We ride back and forth till we run out of light. Take it to the barn, put it up for the night. Climb up in the loft, sit and talk with the radio.
It certainly outkicked my expectations, and in addition to those like middle of the field stats, I thought anecdotally, I've said this a lot about Shuck's rookie year, he would be in the gun, throw the ball from the far hash outside the numbers as well. Like I thought he did really well at that too. So like activating all levels. Not gonna say it was perfect by any means. I'm not trying to get too over my skis here on him, but I thought he checked a lot of boxes, looked really good in a well-designed offense, and they only got better on paper from this year to last year. So like right now, he is the guy I would have the most confidence in going into year 2 out of these rookie quarterbacks from 2025.
So that's Matt Harmon from the Football 301 podcast. He does the podcast with Nate Tice, who's a former Wisconsin quarterback, former NFL coach, scout, all that sort of stuff. It's part of Yahoo, by the way. Yahoo puts on the Football 301 podcast. And so it was interesting because they were discussing the 2025 rookies, the quarterbacks going into year 2. And who they have the most confidence in. And remember, you're talking about a draft class that includes Cam Ward. That there were 13 quarterbacks drafted in 2025. Cam Ward went number 1 overall. Jackson Dart was the other first rounder who went to New York with the Giants at 25. Then Tyler Shuck was the 3rd quarterback taken. He was the first quarterback in round 2. Jalen Milroe went to the Seahawks. Dylan Gabriel went to the Browns. Shadur, it was interesting because Gabriel went 94, and then Shadur went 50 picks later at 144, both to Cleveland. Kyle McCord of Syracuse was pick 181. There was Will Howard of Ohio State who went to the Steelers. Riley Leonard went to the Colts. The Texans picked Graham Mertz. Tommy Millott from Montana State went to the Raiders with pick 213. The Raiders also picked Cam Miller of North Dakota State. Curtis Rourke from Indiana went to the Niners. Then Quinn Ewers of Texas went to Miami, of course made the team. So I don't know that, like, that's not exactly a star-studded draft class, obviously, at least not now as of the results. Now, Shadur did make a Pro Bowl, almost by default because nobody wants to play in the Pro Bowl anymore. But Shedeur was a Pro Bowler last year as a rookie. But Tyler Shuck, a lot of it really with Shuck is the eye test because he started 9 games and they won 5 of them. So he was 5-4 in his 9 starts. And I kind of throw up an asterisk on the first one because the first one was the game. His first start was in LA against the Rams and they got housed. And that was just a miserable idea to give him his first start there. You were setting him up for failure. So really, if you want to look at the next, the next 8 starts where they went 5-3, that's maybe a little more of a representative sample of Tyler Shuck. But he passed the eye test. Well, anyway, Nate Tice, again, former Wisconsin quarterback, NFL coach, scout, all that sort of stuff on the 301 podcast, talked about what the Saints have built around Shuck going in year 2, which is something we've obviously had that whole conversation. It's just interesting to get an outside perspective on something that we're close to because sometimes it's hard to see the forest through the trees. And let's just be honest. The Saints haven't been in the playoffs since the COVID year. They've been a miserable team, a sinking franchise with an awful cap situation. They haven't been interesting nationally. Nobody's talking about the Saints nationally. Why would they? So when someone outside of here talks about them, my antenna is going to go up. Well, here's what Nate Tice said.
Like, I like the Saints offensive line. I like the weapons now they put around them. Actually, not only did they sign ETN, but man, going back, I watched a couple games, not just this morning and yesterday, but my guy Devin Neal is actually pretty dang good. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. But then Olave, the receivers they added, Vele actually would be a nice role player for them now. He had some nice catches in the game I watched against Carolina as well. I'm not saying he's the ace, but Olave and Tyson are going to be a great 1-2 punch. Tight end, adding Delp, like they have a pretty cool offense. We've talked about many of times. Thought Kellen Moore hit a lot of nice buttons throughout the year. Tempo, some of the formation stuff they used, and I think that was just the beginning, but I do think it's encouraging what they got to.
Now, so some of the things that I think he hit on there that we will continue to talk about is the encouraging thing about the offense going into this year is that everybody kind of doesn't have to move up a chair, right? He mentioned Devon Vele. The Saints made the trade for Vele, and of course they traded Rashid Shaheed. So you had Olave coming off a season where he missed half the season due to the concussion problems. They trade Rashid Shaheed, and you're looking at a situation where you got Kevin Austin rolling around. You're playing Mason Tipton late in the season. You were asking Devon Vele to be a number 2. Well, on this team, you can look and go, he's a role player, and I like him in that role. I don't like Devon Vele as my number 2. I like Olave, Jordan Tyson, and then, Vele's a big-bodied guy who's your number 3, maybe create a mismatch. Oh, and you also have a giant guy in Oscar Delp who you're adding to the room. And that's more agreeable, the way that you've sort of built here. You're not asking guys to be stars when they're role players, which is why this feels a little more agreeable. Now, Tice also talked about where he thinks Shuck needs to improve in year 2.
The sack rate has to improve, and that's only more concerning to me because that's what was an issue I had with him in college, was he it's not great under pressure. And whether that's something in his head about being hurt before, he would kind of like comically get rid of the ball like in weird ways, and he had a higher amount of throwaways last year too. But I do think that dealing with pressure would really help him out. He had the highest pressure to sack rate among all quarterbacks in 2025, and he was 43rd out of 46th among all rookie quarterbacks since 2013 in pressure to sack rate. His stuff started folding. He kind of eyes came down, and he kind of just like, all right, I'm just going to eat the sack rather than maybe trying to create something. He becomes very much like Tua or Derek Carr under pressure, just like safe throwaways and checkdowns. Like that's just, and it's not bad. Like you can obviously win that way. Then you just have to be, when you can be explosive and can get those big plays, you have to hit them because you're not kind of creating those opportunities elsewhere.
So I completely understand that perspective, and he came with the numbers. You also have a limited sample size, and you had an atrocious offensive line. You were without your starting center, Eric McCoy. Luke Fortner's playing center. Your Dylan Radins at left guard. Cesar Ruiz at right, who's atrocious. Well, now you've addressed that. You had a rookie left tackle. Now you've got more experienced tackles. Your center's back. You signed the best offensive guard in free agency, and you still got Cesar Ruiz there. But I think we can objectively say that he's probably not going to be as pressured. And I would argue what you didn't need from Shuck is to panic and make the big mistake. I think I'd rather say, eat the sack, live to play another day. Throw it away, live to play another day. Now, eventually, you're going to have to go make plays in the face of pressure. But does a better offensive line help you improve in that respect? And one more, again, this was Nate Tice talking about Tyler Shuck. He did talk about the things he liked from Shuck in year one.
He plays like an older rookie, and I mean that as a compliment. Makes a lot of smart decisions. He's careful with the ball. He's a good athlete. Throws well on the move. Even when he was at Louisville, I thought it was very notable was that he could throw on the left and whip his body around and make some really creative throws. That's not how he wins, but the fact that he can do it's encouraging because the boot game is very alive to both ways. I thought he can be selective pushing the ball, which I want to see more maybe next year with a little bit better receiving group. Maybe then we can kind of see how it looks with maybe more stuff down the field. But that's not to say he's a coward or anything. I just think sometimes he can maybe push it, just limit testing. Like I talk about Cam Ward, limit test it a little bit more.
I'll draw a comp that I don't mean as a player to player comp, but it sounds a lot like if you remember Jaden Daniels' first year at LSU. There was one of the big criticisms was he wouldn't take the shots. He just didn't put the ball in harm's way. But that's how LSU won. Protect the football, play good defense. That's kind of what Shuck did a year ago, although we did see him make very nice plays. Like you heard him say, the ability to throw it along to the field, wide. Anyway, better offensive line, better weapons around him, year of experience. How much better can he be? It'll be fascinating to see. Tyler Shuck could be one of the more higher rising players in the entire NFL in 2026 if he builds on the way he finished 2025. All right, it's After Further Review. Tuesday shows powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We'll wrap up hour number 2 with Tigers and the Pros next.
AFR.
You've heard me talk about Darren James forever. Jacques Juge, an AFR listener, this was his experience.
So I had my house up for sale by owner for about a month. I listed it with a realtor, going on roughly a year, and I decided to give Darren a call. He told me he would run analysis and give me some feedback by the end of the night, which was a Friday night. I just told him, no hurry, just wait till next week. Don't take time away from his family. But before the end of the night, I had a text message from Darren with a 15-minute video explaining everything that he's seen on my property and what way he could go about with selling the home. So I got rid of the realtor I had, got Darren. Man, within a month, we had an offer on the table, and we just closed last Thursday.
Don't waste time. You need results. You need to sell your home. You can try to do it yourself. You can hire another realtor, or you can hire the best. Listen to Jacques Juge. Call Darren James and get your home sold. Agent225.com.
Think real estate. Think Darren James.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Simone ate the best gumbo of her life, rolled some dice, and enjoyed a relaxing massage. She did not, however, find time to lay by the pool. Well, Simone, there's always next time. Lake Charles, there's a lot to pack in.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She's the only one who really understands what gets me. She thinks my
Wrapping up hour number 2, go get you a Deere. SunnyQuip.com, SunnyQuip.com. Not just tractors, zero-turn motors, gators. Tailgating's going to be here before you know it. You need your portable generators to power your tailgate. They have everything you need over at Sunshine. SunnyQuip.com, SunnyQuip.com. Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Wrapping up hour number 2, Muso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Some news out of Cincinnati as the Bengals have restructured Joe Burrow's contract. That comes from ESPN's Adam Schefter and the NFL Network's Ian Rappaport here on Tuesday. The move will gain Cincinnati $10 million in cap space. Of course, they could have restructured his entire deal and converted $19.2 million into a base salary for the upcoming season, but they didn't do that. They only did a portion of it. So $10 million. That was in large part due to needing money for Dexter Lawrence the second there. Had just $7 million. So new deal there for Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. Awesome story here involving Paul Skeens. I'm sure many have seen. Paul Skeens was driving home last night in Pittsburgh, saw the lights on at a Little League field, decided to just drop by unannounced. Hung out with the kiddos for 2 hours playing catch, taking pictures, signing autographs, all of those things that make Paul Skeens awesome and the human being that he is. He will also be on the mound tonight in Pittsburgh at PNC versus the Los Angeles Dodgers. Skeens looking for win number 7 there. Major League Baseball action from a night ago. Tough one for Dylan Cruz. He wore the collar 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts as well. Hat trick. Been a tough week. I should say tough 4 days or so for Dylan Cruz. Average down to 185 now in his return to the big leagues. Pardon me. A WNBA action from a night ago. Anissa Morrow, she was a DNP, dealing with a left leg injury for the Connecticut Sun. That's really disappointing because she was pacing the WNBA in double-doubles and rebounds so far on this season. Hopefully that injury does not keep her out too much. And then lastly, Flau'jae Johnson for the Seattle Storm. 24 minutes in a starting role, 13 points, 7 assists for Flau'jae. Grabbed 2 rebounds as well. Storm, though, were a 10-point loser to the Aces. That is Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by the Williamson Eye Center. Want to see 2020? Call 924-2020 or go to williamsoneye.com. Remember, with locations all over Greater Baton Rouge, they can do it all. Eye care, eyewear, and eye surgery. Okay, so if you need to have your annual eye exam, Williamson Eye Center. If you wear contacts or glasses, need to update your prescription or fill that prescription, they got their optical shop. You can pick out your frames, your lenses, all that stuff. WilliamsonEye.com. And, of course, if you want to ditch contacts and glasses forever, the Williamson Eye Center has a refractive procedure for you. And you could, maybe you're like me. Someone said, you're not a great candidate for LASIK. And maybe you're not, by the way. Maybe it's Evo ICL. Maybe it's a custom lens replacement. Maybe it's PRK. There's so many options. Find the right option for you, but it starts with that phone call to the Williamson Eye Center or log on to williamsoneye.com. WilliamsonEye.com for the Williamson Eye Center. Hey, something you might have missed over the weekend. Shout out to 2 LSU women's basketball players, Michaela Williams and Mylasia Fulwiley. They were in the FIBA Women's 3-on-3 World Championship, and Michaela Williams hit the game-winning shot to win the gold medal for the USA. So shout out to Michaela Williams and Mylasia Fulwiley. It's a 4-person team, and so those LSU stars made up half the team. But again, it was the FIBA World Cup 3-on-3 championship in Warsaw, Poland, and the ladies take home the gold medal, and Michaela was the MVP of the event. So naturally, very well earned, and we're fired up for them. by the way, should also mention that both Michaela Williams and Mylasia Fulwiley are Parish Construction and Roofing ambassadors. Did an NIL deal with those two young ladies, so had a great season, and now following up by representing the USA internationally. Congrats to them on taking home the gold medal. We're fired up for them. And go USA!
Go USA!
Hour 3 is next.
AFR.
Tuesday Night Supper Club back open, y'all. I had a listener mention to me that wife and he are celebrating their anniversary. They're going to take a trip internationally, and they're going to spend some time actually in Baton Rouge, and they're going to go to Supper Club. And what should they get? And the answer, quite honestly, is like anything. Just pick. Menu's incredible. Now, they have actually, for summer, updated their cocktail menu with a lot of really light, more fruity, summery type cocktails. If you want to go check that out. One of the things I always say about Supper Club, listen, you want to go have the best steak experience of your life, you'll have it at Supper Club. The best dining experience, regardless if you like steak or if you want their lamb chops or if you want the Chilean sea bass or the salmon. They got it all. Lobster, scallops, it's going to be the best. You can always just walk in, belly up to the bar, happy hour, open seating at the bar, have a cocktail, close some business. It's Supper Club.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the offseason. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FML Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the lake.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no two cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit, nor by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
I've been in banking for over 35 years. I usually start about 7:30 in the morning, and I usually leave somewhere around 5, or if customers need me to meet them at their house or their business places, I don't mind going after hours. I have done churches, subdivisions, retail centers, hospitals, and nursing homes. And that's why we chose to live in this community, because of the values First American Bank has, that I can serve my community and my customers.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A Texas court scheduled Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby's trial against the NCAA for February 8th, 2027. 2 weeks after the College Football Playoff National Championship will be played in Las Vegas. Yesterday, a judge granted Sorsby a temporary injunction that might clear him to play in 2026, even after the NCAA declared him ineligible for betting on college sports. The Big 12 Executive Board will meet with Commissioner Brett Yormark Thursday to go over their options. Paul Feinbaum show host, Paul Feinbaum.
I don't think they can do much, but at least show some principle. And that's really what has been missing here. All we've seen are a bunch of outraged commissioners and coaches and athletic directors. That's not solving the problem. And it's too late to solve this in court. So in the court that against the NCAA.
Hurricanes down 2-1 at the Golden Knights. Game 4 Stanley Cup Final tonight, 8 Eastern ABC. Still waiting for word whether Brandon Bussey or Freddie Anderson will start in goal for Carolina. Wild Sign center Mike McCarron, 6 years, $20 million. He had a productive arrival after a midseason trade from Nashville.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance can protect your small business with over 30 coverage options and easy-to-use mobile app, personalized discounts, and more. Get a quote in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Discounts and coverage selections not available in all states or situations.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
Hour 3. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Hey, Will.
Hey, bud.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomlin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. It's 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. The world continues to melt and react over the Brennan Sorsby thing. We'll get some more conversation about that a little bit. Get a lot of good questions in via the text line as well. Remember, you can always text us 225-396-4400, 396-4400, or text the show line at 499-1045, 225-499-1045. Every year, ESPN puts out their future college football rankings. Our buddy Adam Rittenberg does the honors here with this write-up, but they're effectively trying to project how college football teams are going to look over the next 2 years. So in this case, the 26 and 27 season. Basically, fast forward a year and a half, when the season ends, a national champion's crowned at the end of the 2027 season, so in January of 28, how do these rankings look? And they do this evaluation based on 5 criteria. It's quarterback situation, offensive and defensive line outlook, roster management, star power, like how many All-Americans, national award contenders, all-conference contenders do you have, and then coaching staff. Those are the 5. So, for example, Georgia with Kirby Smart would rank really highly there with the coaching staff component of it, star power, roster management, all that sort of stuff. You would think Georgia would be very high in that list. The challenge for me with anything like this, and there's a reason why I'm bringing this up here today, because I really don't necessarily, we talk about it often, I don't like lists. Generally think that that's a lazy way to go about written content in the offseason. Let's just do a subjective list. The top 10 biggest games of the whatever. But I understand people are craving college football content. They want it, and so you serve it up however you can. This is interesting because they try at least to put some type of objective data and metrics behind the whole thing. But I feel about this now as a predictive measure the same way that I feel about blue chip ratio. And blue chip ratio for 2 decades was a fantastic predictive measure of if a team could win the national championship. Not will they, could they? Remember, blue chip ratio was simple. It is simple. It was simple. is more than half of your team 4- and 5-star players. That's it. If half of your roster, scholarship players, were either 4 or 5 stars, you could win a national championship. Going back to the start of the rating system, the 4- or 5-star rating system, every year, the national champion had a blue chip ratio above 50%. Is that simple? Until now with Indiana. And the point that I'll continue to make is the blue chip ratio doesn't hold water anymore because it has struggled to find out how to factor in transfers. And so it's irrelevant. Like the example I've given you, you look at LSU this past year, A.J. Halsey was a 3-star coming out of high school. But he ended up being LSU starting safety, one of the best players on the defense. Fernando Mendoza the man who won the Heisman Trophy would have been a negative on the blue chip ratio because he was a 3-star coming out of high school. Right? It doesn't make sense anymore. But this is interesting because I think of the results in particular because of something Lane Kiffin said and has sort of repeatedly said here throughout this offseason. Okay? So I'm not going to bury the lead or spoil the result for you. The number I'll go through. When you look at their predictive measure, the number 1 team is Notre Dame. Again, this is over the next 2 years. Number 1, Notre Dame, 2, Ohio State, 3, Texas, Oregon's 4, Georgia's 5. So Texas is the highest ranked among the SEC, and then Georgia's next at 5. Miami is 6, Indiana 7, interestingly enough. And then there you find your Fighting Tigers of LSU 8th, which is exactly where they were a year ago. And what's so fascinating about this to me is a year ago, if you're thinking of, okay, well, roster management. LSU turned over more than 60 roster spots this year. What does that say about roster management? Offensive and defensive line. You have one contributor from your defensive line a year ago, Dom McKinley, returning. You have one key starter, Braylon Moore, in your offensive line returning. Everything else is brand new. Unless you want to count Weston Davis. But do you really want to count Weston Davis? Now, I hope he becomes an outstanding player, but he was your weak link a year ago. Coaching? Well, a year ago it was Brian Kelly. Now it's Lane Kiffin. Do you understand? A quarterback. Literally every one of your scholarship quarterbacks that was on the roster a year ago are gone. So as a predictive measure, a year ago, it's all a wash. None of it matters. So what are you talking about, Matt? I'm glad you asked. LSU's 8. A&M 9. Now you get into the SEC. Bama 10. So we've had, just so we're keeping score, Texas, Georgia, LSU, A&M, Bama. That's 5 SEC schools. Ole Miss is next at 12. And in part, it's because you've got Trinidad Chambliss there. What is that going to look like in the 2027 season? And I want to remind you, Lane Kiffin in spring was he's hinted at this a few times, where Lane Kiffin has hinted at this throughout spring. And he does have a cut, not the Wilson one. Lane Kiffin said throughout spring, and he kind of warned LSU fans that they needed patience. You remember that? And he was effectively saying, and when he warned for patience, he kind of got dogpiled on for that. And then he came back and said, I want to tell our fans, I'm not saying it's going to take years. It's just going to take time. And then he did an interview with Wilson Alexander where, I'm paraphrasing, but he also said to Wilson that it was, I'm paraphrasing, but effectively said, Ole Miss might be better this year than LSU. And it kind of stands to reason that could be true. He built a really good thing there. They won 50 games over the last 5 seasons. only Bama and Georgia had done that. Trinidad Chambliss is returning, and he's coming to LSU with a roster where I just mentioned they turned over more than 60 players on the roster. You got a quarterback coming off a Liz Frank injury. You're installing a new offense. Like, it may be better at Ole Miss in 2026 than in Baton Rouge at LSU. But when you look as a projective measure in the future, that's sort of what Kiffin is saying. And all that to say, this ESPN metric kind of points to that as well, saying that when you look at the coach and the resources and the roster and the quarterback and all the things that would be predictive measures, yeah, LSU probably is going to be better than Ole Miss long term, despite what they set up. And the example that I've given you is you look at what, like when Nick Saban left, Les Miles inherited a talented roster, a stable situation, and continued winning. I don't think Les gets enough credit. But you could look to the flip side of that at a place like Miami when Butch Davis left for the Cleveland Browns. He left at the time what became the greatest college football team ever, and Larry Coker won a national championship in year one. And then in year two, they were back in it, lost to Ohio State, and then the erosion began. And you just saw the talent erode and everything fade. And then ultimately Coker got fired, and we know, and Miami just hasn't been back at that level until like literally now when they just played for a national championship 20 years later. So it's just interesting given the way Kiffin approached it this offseason. When he talked about, he preached patience and kind of got dogpiled on. And listen, I'm not sitting here preaching patience. You go spend $40 million on a roster, you better win, Jack. Like now. I'm not going to be sitting here in the fall if LSU's losing 2, 3, 4, 5 games going, well, patience. No, like patience doesn't exist anymore because of NIL in the portal. Indiana's the losingest program in the history of college sports, history of college football. Year one under Cignetti, boom, 11-1, they're in the playoff. You can do it quickly, and that's going to be the expectation at LSU. I do think it's interesting, though, because Kiffin has preached patience, and you're seeing this type of metric as a projective measure to say, yeah, LSU probably is going to be better off long-term than the place that Lane Kiffin left. Just food for thought on a June day. All right, it's After Further Review. We are brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake. Speaking of LSU, of course, Our Lady of the Lake is the championship health partner of LSU Athletics. And at FMOL Health, their team is more than 20,000 strong, delivering care across Louisiana and Mississippi as one connected, mission-driven health system. As a $5 billion health system with nationally recognized quality and not one but 2 exceptional workplace awards from Gallup, FMOL Health has built something people trust and continues to grow to meet the needs of the communities they serve. And when LSU needed a partner to care for their student athletes, they chose Our Lady of the Lake as their championship health partner because that tells you everything you need to know. That same level of care isn't just for athletes, it's for you, your family, and communities across the region. This is bigger than sports. It's about having a health system you can count on. FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, and LSU. Together, we roar. Learn more at olrmc.com/LSU. All right, glad to have you hanging out with us here on a Tuesday edition of AFR. We are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Going to knock out a break. We'll circle back and get to some more college football talk at the bottom of this hour. But it was interesting. Chase Young was a guest on the Insiders on Tuesday and talked a little bit about his expectations for this year and growth for the defense and all that. And Chase Young's such a fascinating character on this Saints team because of what his career has been. You know, the expectation he came through, the immediate success, the injuries, now this sort of second or maybe even third iteration of his career because of the trade and then signing with the Saints after going to the Niners. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and we'll let you hear from Chase Young when we continue. Glad you're hanging out with us on a Tuesday edition of AFR.
After Further Review.
Get Gordon. Get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. And get to the garage. Of course, the Garage podcast studio is just another way that Gordon gives back to the communities he serves. So the garage is it's quite literally the garage in Gordon's satellite office across I-10 from his primary office, right there in front of the Crown Plaza. And they converted the garage into a podcast studio. So if you're someone who wants to do a podcast or does a podcast, Gordon offers this as a free service to this community. Just log on or call over at the garage, schedule a time, and they'll film, edit, produce your podcast for you and give you it all wrapped up, packaged nicely. Just another way that Gordon gives back to the communities that he serves. Remember, if you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. GetGordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
Box combo for George. I see you, Luis. Food's on the way.
Please don't. Hey, you know you can use your hands, right?
Got those box combos for you. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
Simone ate the best gumbo of her life, rolled some dice, and enjoyed a relaxing massage. She did not, however, find time to lay by the pool. Well, Simone, there's always next time. Lake Charles, there's a lot to pack in.
My name's Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone or stop by the branch and get excellent customer service.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Well, she ain't into cars or pickup trucks, but if it runs like a deer, man, her eyes light up. She thinks my tractor's sexy.
I rode along here in hour number 3. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll get to Dabo's. Chris Lowe's had himself an offseason. He had an exclusive with Trinidad Chambliss. She had an exclusive with Lane Kiffin. He had an exclusive with Pete Golding. Now he's had an exclusive with Dabo Sweeney. We're in a lot of features about some interesting characters in this season in college football. Dabo said a few things I want to get to. And listen, we're not a Clemson show, but LSU does open the season with Clemson. So naturally, we are, as Clemson is sort of migrated into our ecosystem, into our orbit, like things that happen at Clemson are going to be notable here. So we're going to follow them in the offseason because it's going to be naturally interesting for LSU season opener with Clemson coming to Baton Rouge on September the 5th. So we'll get to that here in about a dozen minutes or so. Chase Young is a really interesting character in the New Orleans Saints, on the New Orleans Saints roster right now for a lot of reasons, right? I mean, he was so dominant at Ohio State. He was the number 2 pick of the draft. He was the defensive rookie of the year. And then the injuries came. And then he gets traded and then goes to San Francisco, and then he's a free agent and signs in New Orleans, and that in and of itself was surprising. And then he re-signed with New Orleans after sort of a prove-it deal when he could have, in theory, gone somewhere else and played for a more contending team, but he's chosen to stay in New Orleans. But do you remember last year what the biggest Chase Young storyline was? Chase Young missed the first 5 games of last season with that calf injury. Do you remember that? Like, they're going through preseason, and all of a sudden, boom, he pops up, he's got a calf injury, and then, he'll be fine. Then he's not playing week 1. And then he's not playing week 2. And he's not playing week 3. And the problem is, like, they didn't put him on IR. Remember, because you put him on short-term IR, and then you could have activated him after 4 weeks. Well, they chose not to do that. And you could have, remember, if you had put him on short-term IR, it would have freed up that roster spot for somebody else while Chase Young was out. So the implication there was they expected him to be back within 4 weeks. Well, he ends up missing 5 games. Well, despite missing 5 games, Chase Young still had a fantastic season. Now, while he was out, the Saints started 0-4 and then won their first game of the season in Week 5 against the Giants. So they started 1-4 with Chase Young out. And then he returned, and they lost their next 4. I'm not saying that that correlation necessarily equals causation there. I don't think they lost because Chase Young was out, or they lost because Chase Young was back. It's just they were not a very good team. But they finished strong last year, which is why a lot of people have more optimism going into 2026. And Chase Young was a guest on the Insiders, and they asked him, now that he's on his 3rd team and he had a fantastic season and stayed healthy after the calf injury, if he sort of found his home in New Orleans.
Yeah, man, I'm definitely blessed. I found an organization that believes in me. That has my back, and a coach like Coach Staley who believes in me, and as a player, that's all I need.
It's great to hear. And look, he's under contract, so he's not going anywhere. But he was also a massively productive guy, and as we mentioned, it was for the Saints a year that defensively they got much better. And when you look at how the season started for New Orleans last year, I mean, it was a rough go. Not just with the 0-4 start, but defensively, they were atrocious at times in the early part of the season. Like, remember the game at Seattle where, it was like Murphy's Law. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong for New Orleans against the Seahawks. And it wasn't just the game against Seattle. They allowed 44 to Seattle. They allowed 31 against Buffalo. They lost 26-14 on the road against Chicago. There was the 34-10 behind whipping against the Rams. Well, Chase Young was asked late in the season down the stretch when the defense improved, what changed?
I think it was the will just to keep pursuing, right? Just to stay consistent. No matter what was going on, just keep our head down and keep fighting. The only thing that we can do was just to do our 1/11th. And that was me doing my job, Cam doing his job, Grando doing his job, and block out the noise, just keep going. And we found out that we can be a real good team.
Yeah, maybe it was that. Maybe it was blocking out the noise and being the 1/11th. Or maybe you played a bunch of teams that stunk. After you started 1-8, you played Atlanta, who was 8-9, Miami, who finished 7-10, Tampa, who finished 8-9, Carolina, who finished 8-9, the Jets, who finished 3-14, Tennessee, who finished 3-14, and Atlanta, who finished 8-9. You finished, after your 1-8 start, playing a bunch of teams that were sub-500 and stunk. Of course you were better against the bad teams. Did you notice I mentioned you gave up 44 to Seattle and 31 to Buffalo and 26 to Chicago and 34 to the Rams? Yeah, you were playing really good teams, and they kicked your ass. And then 2 things happened. Number 1, the schedule lightened up. And number 2, you inserted Tyler Shuck, and Tyler Shuck played really well. I'm not sitting here saying that the Saints aren't any good. I'm saying you can't ignore the fact that a big part of the success they had late in the season was the schedule they played. Now, in total, this surprised me when I went back and looked this up. Like, statistically, this defense was actually pretty good a year ago, despite those numbers that I just rattled off. Like, do you remember the Saints' total defense? I didn't remember this. Do you remember the Saints' total defense? Paul, Muse, do you remember the Saints' total defense rank at the end of the year?
Was it 10?
I gave it away a little bit saying it was better than I thought. They were ninth. Ninth in total defense. They were fourth in pass defense. They're fourth in pass defense. With Sugarwater McKinstry out there. Why? Well, because they weren't good against the run. And teams generally had a lead against them and ran the ball and ran out the clock. They were 19th against the run, and they were 16th in scoring at 22 points per game. But again, in the back half of your schedule, in the final 8 games, things lightened up considerably where you didn't play a team that finished with a winning record. So I looked at 2026, and the benefit is, number one, you got the second easiest schedule by winning percentage, by your opponent's winning percentage from last year. You have the second easiest schedule in the NFL. You've got Tyler Shuck, now, a year older, a year more mature, more comfortable. You've built the offense there as well. So the question is, like, can you improve defensively in year 2 under Brandon Staley? So Chase Young did talk about his offseason so far and how it's gone.
Yeah, man, just grinding, man. Knowing what we're putting together here in New Orleans, we all can see what's going on. Coach Kellen, he's leading us. And honestly, man, we're just grinding, man.
So when I look at New Orleans, which was 9th in the NFL last year in total defense, you obviously lose to Mario Davis, but you bring in Caden Ellis. You went in free agency and a draft day trade to address your defensive line and edge rusher. Free agency with Caden Ellis at linebacker. Hopefully, you've improved your defense to where you can build year 2 under Brandon Staley. And if you were 9th in the NFL in total defense last year, like 16th in scoring, how much better can you be? Like, can 22.5 points per game drop to 19 or 20 points per game? Like, then all of a sudden, an improved offense complementing that defense against a weak schedule gives you confidence that maybe the Saints are going to go over their win total coming up in this year. And that's the other thing that Chase Young was asked about was the Saints offense. And with the new pieces and Tyler Shuck a year old, remember a year ago at this point, it was like still a 3-man competition for the starting job. Like, he was asked if he's noticed a difference in the offense so far.
I'm definitely excited. Shuck leading the way. Young guy Jordan Tyson. We definitely brought in a lot of key pieces that we needed. Travis. So as everybody on defense, we're all excited just to watch our offense go. Even in 7-on-7, we can feel that it's more heat just going behind us and things. It's balls going over our head and there's a lot more going on. So we definitely just excited to see them guys rock.
Chase Young, hopefully a really strong season ahead of him for the New Orleans Saints. A long way to go still in this offseason. I would love to see him stay healthy this year. But, a guy that we talk all the time about Cam Jordan, his 10.5 sacks. We might forget that Chase Young last year had 10 sacks. And remember, he missed 5 games. He missed the first 5 games of the season, had a double-digit sack season. So, and 11 TFLs. So stay healthy, play 17 games. How much can you build upon that this year in year 2 under Brandon Staley? There's a lot of reasons to be excited about this Saints team. And I'm not sitting here telling you I think they're going to be a contender because I don't. But I do think they're going to be a team that progresses from a year ago, improved its weaknesses, and are playing a bad schedule. A weak schedule that should net them more than the 6 wins they got a year ago. And who knows, maybe it pushes close enough. Look, I mean, 8-9 won the division last year. Can you get to 9-8? If so, maybe you're back in the playoffs for the first time since the COVID year. All right, we're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com with 9 locations. There's a Lee Michaels in Louisiana near you. Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport. You can always shop them online at lmfj.com, lmfj.com. You know, you see a lot of these photos on social media of folks getting engaged on their beach trip, right? The beautiful sunset, the sandy beach, getting down on bended knee. If you're planning an engagement, you need to go by Lee Michaels. Buy the ring where Louisianians going to get engaged for 4 decades. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. lmfj.com, that's the website, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. They're always going to get you the best customer service and a beautiful diamond hand-inspected by a family member before it goes in the case. You will never see a man-made or lab diamond at Lee Michaels. Every single diamond is a natural diamond from the finest diamond mines in the world. Scott goes on these diamond buying trips internationally to always bring the best selection home here for us. And if they don't have what you want, they'll find it. If they can't find it, they'll make it. And they accept returns. Like if she's not thrilled, they'll take it back. Pick something else. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, we are rolling along here. Jimmy will be here in 15 minutes for Otter Locks. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Jimmy is missed on these NBA Finals. He was on the Knicks yesterday, looking to make it, looking for the Knicks to go 3-0. So if I'm not mistaken, I think he's over 3 in these finals on his picks. But I don't know. We'll see if we can pick it up tonight. See what we got. Otter Locks are always free over at LouisianaSports.net, usually published about the time we start the show around 3 o'clock Central. So if you want to get Otter Locks and get ahead of it before lines move and shift a little bit, make sure you get it over at LouisianaSports.net. Everything always free over at LouisianaSports.net. And I told you this week, man, we launched the new updated version of LouisianaSports.net. It's our 3rd iteration of the site, and we're thrilled with the way that it looks. So please go check it out. Explore the site. Give us some feedback. We appreciate it. The site's there for you, so please go enjoy it. And if you have feedback or something you'd like to see, let us know. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break, come back, answer some of your questions, get some good questions about the Sorsby situation. I do want to talk about a few things that Dabo Sweeney said in his interview with Chris Lowe. We'll get to it next on AFR.
After further review.
Man, this is an awesome time of year. Patio and pool season. I'm not made for the cold weather, y'all. I wish it would be 110 every day over like -10, because that means I could drink me a cold beer and hop in my pool, throw some meat on the grill and cool off jumping in the pool. I love that. It's such a part of my family's every day. Like I get home, we put Drew in the pool. If you're thinking about putting in a pool, if you ever thought about putting in a pool, maybe you have a pool that needs to be updated, remodeled, renovated, you need Duplessis Pools. DuplessisPools.com, DuplessisPools.com. Now listen, I know you get inundated with pool company ads, and there's a lot of them out there. And so you might wonder, like, how do you differentiate? Well, the thing that I always love to talk about with Derek Duplessis and Duplessis Pools is the quality of their work. Everyone will build you a beautiful pool. At Duplessis, they offer a 10-year workmanship warranty when the industry standard is 1 year. They stand behind their work. Start designing it today. DuplessisPools.com.
My name's Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone or stop by the branch and get excellent customer service.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
People think it's all about game day, but the real work happens in the off-season. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our Lay of the Lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
We trust the Lake.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
She likes the way it's pulling while we're tilling up her land. She's even kind of crazy about my farmer's tan.
LSU's going to welcome Dabo Swinney and the Clemson Tigers into Tiger Stadium on September the 5th. Dabo entering his 18th season as the Clemson head coach, which is so wild because I was doing a show on a different station at the time when Dabo became the interim coach at Clemson and then ultimately the permanent head coach. And if you remember, man, like Clemsoning was a thing. Do you remember when we used to say Clemsoning to describe teams that would choke, couldn't win the big one? Well, then all of a sudden, Deshaun Watson shows up and then Sunshine follows, and they go to 4 title games in 5 years and win 2 of them. And nobody says Clemsoning anymore. That narrative got just punted. And Dabo has become a Hall of Fame coach. I mean, he is a college football Hall of Famer. It's undeniable. But I believe, and I think many of you do as well, that he's also a guy that is going the way of a lot of these coaches that refuse to adapt in this era. And they're regressing. Dabo gave an interview to Chris Lowe at ESPN.com, and I think the hardest thing for I'm trying not to say someone like Dabo, because I'm not just talking about a football coach or him in particular. I think it's people in life who refuse to acknowledge the need to adapt. Like, take something outside of sports. Like, AI right now is finding its way into every phase of life. It doesn't matter what you do professionally. AI, someone in your company is using AI. Like here, we use AI. We're not creating content with AI, but every day we use AI to optimize YouTube headlines and descriptions and SEO terms and podcast descriptions and all different types of stuff. It's essential. It's a great tool to use to help improve the quality of your work. If you're someone who's just ignoring the fact that AI exists because you don't want to learn something new or you're afraid of what it might do, you are going to get overwhelmed. Like the avalanche is coming. Like the 30-foot tidal wave is about to crash on your head. You either get swallowed up by it or you grab your surfboard, you ride the wave. Dabo is destined to get crashed by the 30-foot wave because he refuses to acknowledge that he needs to change. And it's obvious to everyone, literally everyone, except him. He told Chris Lowe after the season where Clemson was a preseason top 10 team in America, and they finished 7-6, 4-4 in the conference. He believes it was just one down year. Quote, "We're not built for perfection, but absolutely we're built to last. Ain't nobody making excuses for last year. I mean, we fried it, and that's nobody's fault but mine. Same as 2010 when we won 6 games. And you know what? It's my job to fix it. And it doesn't get any easier. I'm not saying we're going to win the championship this year. We'll be better. You got different challenges now, but we got enough here at Clemson to compete with anybody." And then he goes on. There are false narratives. Or there are narratives, there are facts. We haven't been as consistent as we like to be, but who has? Name the teams who have been to more playoffs than we have the last 6 years. Name them. It's very short list. Alabama, Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State. And yeah, it's also a fact we've fried some games and not been as good as we need to be. That's incredibly frustrating. We've not been as good at home as we've been in the past. So yeah, those are absolute facts, 1,000%. But perspective is more important. If you took the names and logos off, looked at the totalities of the program, you say, yeah, sign me up for that. What we've done the last 6 years. Not talking about for a decade. I mean this decade. And just because we haven't been as consistent, we're still 7th in wins with 3 ACC championships. Okay. You got 3 championships in a bad league. Do I need to remind you Duke won the ACC championship a year ago? Is that what you're striving for, to be Duke? Like, here's the reality that he doesn't want to acknowledge. In 2015, when they lost the national championship game, through 2019, that 5-year span, Clemson went 14-1, 14-1, 12-2, 15-0, 14-1. They played in the national championship 4 times in 5 years. And the 1 year they didn't, they lost the Sugar Bowl where they went 12-2. They were 12-1, lost the Sugar Bowl. Yo, like 4 times in 5 years, Clemson played for the national championship. They were the only thing that threatened Alabama in that era. Since then, remember their losses in that stretch, 1-1, 2-0, 1-2. They didn't lose more than 2 games in that 5-year stretch. Since then, 10-3, 11-3, 9-4, 10-4, 7-6. So their losses have gone, and by the way, Dabo, I'm not talking about a decade, I'm talking about this decade. 3, 3, 4, 4, 6. I call that a trend. I don't know what you want to call that. I call that a trend. So he can say, yeah, we've been to the playoff. Yeah, you did go to the playoff in 2024. When Miami choked, you lucked into the ACC championship game and beat SMU, which you're going to hang a banner for that? I guess you probably did because you won the ACC. But you were a 4-loss team. I mean, I don't know how that's the thing that you look and say, yep, we got them right where we want them. When it's that meme of the little dog in the house with everything on fire and it's like, this is fine. Like that feels like Clemson and Dabo, and everyone else recognizes it except the guy who could actually do something about it. And now Clemson comes to Baton Rouge, an 11.5-point underdog. You know, the thing I'll say about, because there are parallels to someone like Dabo and Brian Kelly, right? They're of a different era of coach. And the thing that I'll say about Kelly is when he showed up at LSU, his objective of building a roster was he wanted to build and develop, recruit and develop through the high school ranks, and then supplement in the transfer portal. He didn't want to build a roster through the portal. But Brian Kelly realized after 2024 they had to go heavier in the portal. And they signed the #1 portal class last year. Like, to his great credit, he did something different, which was uncomfortable for him. Now, it didn't work. Nussmeier's, back thing that we now know about, the cyst on his spine, which is so unfortunate it happened that way. What could this team have been had that worked out? You probably should have gone heavier on the offensive line in the portal than you did at the skill positions, whatever. But the point is, like, he tried. It didn't work, but he tried. He recognized we have to be different. He tried. Dabo's not even saying they have to be different. Like, he's trying to gaslight everybody into believing Clemson's still a contender because he's compounding over the last 5 years and saying, look how good we've been over the last 5-6 years. And I'm looking at it going, yeah, you've lost 3, 3, 4, 4, 6. That you're trending in the wrong direction, man. And if you don't do something different to get the arrow pointing back the other way, like, you're accelerating at the cliff. You know what I mean? Like, you need to drive back, man, toward land. Like, you're not just driving toward, you're accelerating toward the cliff. He's probably going to run Clemson right off of it. That's probably going to start September the 5th when LSU waxes him in Tiger Stadium. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Evermore. EVAMOR. Evermore.com. Evermore.com. Man, love drinking Evermore. Drink it every day. Encourage you to do the same. It's a healthier alternative. You can go get cheap bottled water, but I want you to notice the difference between drinking natural artesian water, spring water from a natural well, like straight from the source, and something on the bottle that says like purified water. Like you're not drinking natural water. You're drinking crappy water that they ran through a purifier that probably still has a lot of contaminants in it and maybe has stuff added to it for flavor. And so you're not drinking a natural from the source product. That's what Evermore is. It's natural artesian water, straight out of the well, into the bottle. EVA-MOR. Find a great local retailers. Find a retailer near you at the website. Look, they got national distribution. So even if you're outside of Louisiana, go to the website, hit the Find a Store, type in your area code, and your zip code, and it'll pop up the store nearest you that sells Evermore. EVA-MOR, Evermore. Just hit the menu tab on the drop down. You see Find a Store, and then it's boom. Just type in your zip code, and it's right there for you. EVA-MOR, Evermore.com. You can buy it online as well. Drink Evermore. All right, y'all. It's After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here on this Tuesday edition of AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. We got one segment to go. We always wrap it up the same way. Jimmy will be here for Auto Locks. We'll find out what we're betting on tonight. So don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Got to remind you about Rev Fiber, R-E-V, RevFiber.com. If you're a business, let me specifically talk to business owners. I talk to homeowners and business owners all the time about Rev, but let me specifically talk to you if you're a business owner. You know, we here at Guarantee, several years ago, we did this audit because we were with another company for our cable and internet, phone, and all that sort of stuff. And this is a giant building. It's a 4-story building, tons of offices, lots of employees are actually in the building every day. And so as we were auditing expenses, one of the things we looked at was cable and phone and all that sort of stuff. And my goodness, we switched from who we were with to Rev and got a better product and saved a ton of money. So if you think about the scale and scope of your business and you're looking at your bottom line, what if you could get a better product, better customer service using a local company and save money on your home, internet, cable, all that stuff? RevFiber.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today. In 2021, after Ida, there were 13 insurance carriers that went out of business. At Insurance Network of Louisiana, none of the companies they partner with went out of business. That's because at Insurance Network of Louisiana, they are careful with whom they partner. So when I always say you're getting better coverage for less money from top-rated carriers, I mean it. And you're working with the guys and gals over at Insurance Network of Louisiana, so they can handle everything for you. Say it all the time. Better coverage for less money. They shop, you save. Why wouldn't you call? It's free to have them shop to see if they can get you better coverage on your home, your auto, your business, commercial auto, general liability, commercial property, workers' comp. They have business owners package policies as well. It's Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450, 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on this Tuesday edition of AFR. We always appreciate Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. SunnyQuip.com, SunnyQuip.com. Bunky and below, you want a deer, you're going to Sunshine. All right, one thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Yo, Otter, what up?
What's going on, Matthew?
Just trying to wonder what happened to Mike Brown during that press conference last night.
They got an iconic player, you know.
Did he see a ghost?
Yeah, he did.
What happened?
He did for 48 minutes last night. So. Never heard one thing about officiating for the 13-game winning streak, but they sure got him last night. Okay,
good.
Well,
hey, listen.
The first game. It's the first game that it's all about their ball movement. They're not getting ball dominant with Brunson, and they had. It's the first game since the first game in Cleveland of the 14 games that they had less assists than their opponents. So they out-assisted San Antonio both games 1 and game 2. They got 28-18. San Antonio had 10 more assists. That's a lot. So it's also the first game in 14 games, period, that they had more turnovers than their opponent. So they came out sloppy. They had 3 turnovers before they scored their first point. It was a bit of a circus in New York yesterday.
No doubt.
So, yeah. So.
Well, we had a rough night there with basketball, but, man, great night on the diamond last night.
Yep.
3-0 for the Otter on his baseball picks. So let's keep that rolling. I know we got 3 more tonight.
It pays to play up in the mountains where Colucci is in Summerlin, where the altitude's about 2,000. So that 15 to 14 was the final last night. They're playing 6 games in Las Vegas for the A's before they move there permanently in a couple of years. We're back on Wheeler and the Phillies. Phillies basically a pick 'em. So Wheeler had missed most of the season, but he is back and he is on point. So we're going to take him against Dylan Cease on the road. We hit that last night. We're going to go Pittsburgh. I mean, Skeen's basically even money. That line is adjusted now. He's going up a little bit to like minus 120. But
by the way, they're underway. Bottom 1. The Pirates already lead 1-0 against the Dodgers. So if you want to be on the money line on that one, it's minus 213.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. And our third pick is Baltimore, who I'm watching right now. Just got a sacrifice fly out to center field, so they lead 1-0, 2 on, 2 out, still batting in the bottom of the first.
What do you think about a money line parlay with the Orioles and the Pirates?
Sure. It's beware though. If the Dodgers show signs in the late innings after Skeens is gone, that bullpen has been rough. So you may want to hedge a little bit. If it does, they start to show signs. But
Pirates scored again. It's 2-0 early.
He needs to get going. He's about 3 or 4 kind
1
of
minute remaining.
not so Skeens type of outings. Last night was the night to go contrarian against all the Knicks action. Tonight we'll go against the over action. All 3 games in the Stanley Cup Finals have gone way over. We go under tonight in that one.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off. Phillies, Pirates, and Orioles, and then under in the Golden Knights and Hurricanes Stanley Cup Finals game on the ice. Where are you tomorrow, Otter?
Modesto on Burbank, just off of Nicholson.
All right, man. All right, Jimmy, thanks for the time as always. Good luck.
All right, good luck.
All right, it's going to do it for us here. Hey, Shea Dixon was here in hour 1, spent a couple of segments with us because we had a ton of recruiting stuff to get to. Talked some CWS with Rob Anderson as well. Had a lot of college football talk, some reaction to the Sorsby stuff today. If you missed anything, catch AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org. Muse Polly, thanks. Y'all have an awesome night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
And as we get on down the road, get to remind you about South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Going to be heading over to South Point, pick up my new whip this week. Looking forward to it. I've been driving my current Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport for the last 3 years. Lease is up. I do 36-month lease. So every 3 years, I get a new ride. I like driving something new, so I do that every 3 years at South Point Volkswagen. My lease is up on Sunday, so I'll be going by this week to pick up a new Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport. Pick your favorite vehicle. If it's sedan with the Jetta, if it's the compact midsize or full-size SUV, they've got options for you as well at South Point Volkswagen. They even have the ID4 and the Volkswagen ID Buzz, which is the all-electric bus, if you're interested in that. You can check it all out. If it's on the lot, it's online at southpointvw.com. It's South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Box combo for George. I see you, Luis. Food's on the way.
Please don't. Hey, you know you can use your hands, right?
Got those box combos for you. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Simone ate the best gumbo of her life, rolled some dice, and enjoyed a relaxing massage. She did not, however, find time to lay by the pool. Well, Simone, there's always next time. Lake Charles, there's a lot to pack in.
Championships are won with preparation, and so are great roofs.
Coach is tough on us about preparation, and Paris brings that same championship mindset. Do business with someone you know.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
ParishBuilt.com.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.